Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics suffered their worst loss of the season last night. They got run over in their own building by Charlotte, 118-89. Jalen's Browns team was down a dozen points after the first quarter, and it got worse from there.
Today wasn't characteristic of us. That wasn't, Celtic basketball. They had more energy than us. That usually hasn't happened a lot all season long. Today was not the best example of Celtic basketball, and we all can be better. Being the leader, I take accountability.
The Hornets got 20 points from Rookie of the Year favorite Con Knippel and never trailed. Charlotte's won 6 in a row in 16 of their last 19. The Green have tonight off. They'll play Dallas at the Garden tomorrow night. Bruins had last night off. They're in Nashville this evening. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7:30 and the face-off at 8 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots yesterday informed Stephon Diggs they're going to release him next week after 1 year with the team. The move will save them over $16 million against the cap. Kansas City traded all-pro defensive back Trent McDuffie to the Rams yesterday for first, fifth, and sixth round draft picks this year and a third rounder in 2027. Notre Dame coaching legend Lou Holtz passed away yesterday at the age of 89. Red Sox lost to the Yankees in Fort Myers 4-0. Garrett Crochet allowed 3 runs in 2 2/3 innings of work. Sox will visit the Philadelphia Phillies today. And the World Baseball Classic is underway. Australia has already beaten Chinese Taipei 3-0. Korea has a 5-0 lead on Czechia in the third inning. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Diving effort. He's got a breakaway. The backhand. Throws it in front. Coming to the spot. The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
You might hate me, but you're listening.
and Hardy
Don't bother me. I'm at the Pickle Palace.
on 98.5.
I know what I'm capable of.
He said something about peanut butter, right?
Yeah. Boning, baby. Make America nut again.
That's gross. That's disgusting.
Let's talk about cheese.
What are you going to have for lunch?
I was at dinner with my wife and a friend.
Kitty, kitty, pussy, kitty, kitty, kitty. Flap, flap, flap.
Shut up, I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Toucher and Hardy
Good luck trying to put your finger in it when there's a million holes.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
They were completely sold out of cars. We made it. Thank you to everybody for following along. Keep it locked in.
Hey!
So we're on our way now, almost there.
That's right. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. That is Bert Breer, who is going on yet another vacation. So
Who was quick on the trigger with the Uber.
So he will be on today instead of tomorrow. That's Bert. He's going on another vacation where he can't do the show on Friday.
Oh.
But he did do it. He did it last week. So Adam is giving him a pass this week. Adam usually gets very mad at him, but he's not mad at him this year.
But he's not on my list anymore, man. That was a Herculean appearance from Bert last Friday, gutting it out like a real man. I appreciate that.
Him not being here on Friday, but changing days and being here today, we call that.
All right, so good news and bad news.
Yeah, it's good news and bad news. I mean, he had a very tough time getting to the combine. He had to take an Uber instead of driving from an airport, which I would contend is a luxury, but what do I know?
Shout out to Payless. Thank you very much for that.
Yes.
He put him on blast is what he did.
Whoa.
Payless was supposed to reserve the car. Anyone can take a reservation. It's keeping the reservation.
That's right.
He had a whole bit planned.
So 2 weeks from tomorrow, I'm going to Florida with my son, and I am going to like Major League Spring Training, and then I'm leaving on Wednesday morning, and Milo his team gets in on Wednesday morning, and then he'll stay in Florida in that area and practice with his team for the week and play games with his team for the week in Florida. So listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
So it all works out perfectly. So I'm renting a car. We're staying in Jupiter. Jupiter is like whatever, how many miles from West Palm? Like say it's 30 miles from West Palm.
All right.
20 miles from West Palm. So the idea would be that I would leave, our hotel at like 9-ish, then return the car. Then his team gets in at 9:30 in the morning. He meets them at the airport. They all go together to the team hotel. I get on my plane and go home. This is unacceptable to Milo. He believes that I should take him to the team hotel so he can wait at the team hotel. And and it didn't make it made no sense. And then now I understand why he wants this is because I guess last year it took a long time for them to get it together and get on the buses.
Ah.
And now he's claiming that his coach is like that. He goes, well, my coach doesn't want me to meet him at the airport. And I'm like,
yeah, but it's bad for the arm to be riding in a car that much.
Yeah, like I don't know if that's the case, Milo. Like I don't know why. I think that would be ideal. You would just meet them at the airport, and then you would all go together as a team. He knows where you are. You have your bags. That's what you do. So I question that, and then he's like, well, so and so and so and so are meeting the team at the hotel, and I'm like, okay, so here we go. Is that you want to you don't want to wait for that bus, and you want to meet your two friends at the hotel. So the way, and then he's like, can't you change the flight?
Yeah, Fred.
So like the way that the year is breaking down, I want to work on Thursday. I redid it because I was going to come back in on Friday, but I want to come back in on Thursday because things are popping up that I'm going to need the vacation days free. So any vacation day I can hold on to, I would like to hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at the flights, and all the flights, they're either earlier or they get in at like 11 o'clock at night. So I'm not changing my flight. And aside from that, so I drop them at the team hotel, and then I have to kill the day in West Palm by myself, like waiting around to go to the airport.
Bring a book.
That's right. I could just sit on the street and read a book.
You know what I could loan you? I have some sunglass reading glasses, so you can sit out in the sun, maybe on like a outdoor patio area or something, and read your book with your readers. But they're sunglass readers.
Now, are they always sunglass readers, or do they blue block? Do they change in the sun?
They're not photochromatic. No, they're always sunglass readers.
Oh, those aren't as cool as the ones that kind of.
Well,
they
sorry, geek. I didn't know you wanted to put them on as a shocker. Yeah, you got your blue blockers.
But I actually looked at flights like an idiot. Like how spoiled is this kid? Like, no, I'm not. So I would drop him at the hotel, and then I would have to spend 5 hours. What am I going to go to the movies? Like, what the hell am I going to do? I don't want to. He doesn't want me around there, and I don't want to hang out with his team. I mean, that's his thing, not mine. I don't want to hang around there. So. And I don't have a hotel, or maybe I could just get a hotel for the day and spend, another, how many $100 on the hotel room.
Well, aren't there some less expensive motels nearby that you can rent by the hour?
Well, in West Palm, sure.
Yeah,
but I don't have any idea the validity of the hooker websites. I mean, if I want companionship that day, it's gonna be very difficult for me to parse through the West Palm hooker sites. I mean, and what is it? What is this that I told you guys about? Seeking. There's something for sugar daddy. Seeking.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I know guys that have used it. Seeking companions. I'm not pretending not to know it. I would never do it. Seeking, I don't know. There's some website. Seeking companions or
Ryan
something.
thinks it's seeking arrangements.
Seeking arrangements, maybe. Yeah. I know guys who have done that before. Seeking arrangements. So what it is, it's like young adult women that you got to be careful when you say young adult women that are looking for sugar daddies.
So the Chicago Reader website did the top 10 sugar daddy websites. There's sugardaddy.com, of course. It's the gold standard. Elite singles, secret benefits. Then there's Sugar Book, Private Sugar Club, Sugar Daddy Meet, Our Secret, Ashley Madison, My Sugar Daddy, and then the one that is my
they still
favorite.
put Ashley Madison on there? That turned out to be a huge scam.
Yeah, well, this is my favorite. What's your price? And if you just
That's
go to,
getting right down to
you
it.
go to
There's no mystery at all.
whatsyourprice.com. Dating done differently.
Yeah.
That's, the guy logs on and there are just dollar figures under photos. Is that what that is?
Over 6 million members.
Yes.
Okay.
So in the seeking arrangements, I've seen I've never met any of the people that I know have gone out with, but I have seen pictures, and it is fascinating to me because a lot of it is the woman fully clothed, just holding the item that the man has given him. Now this isn't a what do we call Belichick with the pig thing? The
pig purse.
This
Or a
isn't
purse
a pig.
pig.
This isn't a pig purse. This is, this is you meet up and everything like that. It's not prostitution as a definition. It's, you go out on dates and things like that. But there is a understanding that you're going to be very generous. At least that's the way that I look at it. I don't know anyone that, to my knowledge, that pays rent or anything like that. It's more just. There's this understanding that you're going to be very generous with gifts and things of that nature.
Yes.
Yes, that is true. But again, it's not something that appeals to me at all. I'm not interested in that.
Well, you got to save your money for that flight change and or perhaps an extra hotel.
Yes, absolutely.
So I wasn't following at the exact beginning of it. You're doing a vacation with Milo for a couple of days ahead of time. Is that the deal?
Yeah. So we're going Friday, and then we're going to stay in Jupiter, and then there's three spring training facilities with 6 teams that are within a fairly easy drive of those areas. So we'll go to a game during the day. This year, I got a hotel with a pool, so at least we have that going. The place we stayed in West Palm last year, no pool. So at least we'll have a pool and things like that. But we go to a game. The point of spring training is that you can walk around and see the people warming up and see guys doing drills and stuff like that, which is what's the interesting thing at the Cardinals, Roger Dean Stadium. You can't. Everything's off site. In fact, the clubhouses are off site, so they have to walk down from the clubhouses. It's all crap. It's just the game, which is boring. So, but anyway, we'll do that. So we'll do that. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So we'll go to 4 games.
And how far is the hotel where when his team shows up at the airport and then they all ride together to where they're going? How far is that?
It can't be that far. I mean, it's within, one of those complexes that's by West Palm. I don't know if it's in, I don't know. I have the information somewhere, but it's, somewhere within 30 miles of the hotel.
Well, could you drop him at the hotel super early if he wants to wait there?
But so the thing with that that's annoying to me is that I guess, but then there's a bunch of things that annoy me about that. Then I have to get up super early. I'm not positive where the hotel is. Then I got to navigate my way back to the airport and then go through that whole rigmarole. And then also, I don't know the incentive of him wanting to be at the hotel for hours and hours and hours before the team gets there.
And he doesn't want that. He wants you to hang out. He wants to hang out for a few hours and then just boogie over to the hotel a little while before the team gets there.
He just wants to be at that hotel. But I'm telling you, the team gets in at 9:30 in the morning to the airport.
Yeah.
We're going to be at that airport at 9:30.
What time is your flight?
11.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand any of this. Like, I do not believe that his coach was like, I think he's completely lying. That there's no way his coach was like, don't meet us at the airport. That doesn't make any sense. Why is it? Wouldn't that be infinitely easier? Not infinitely, but wouldn't that even be easier than meeting him at the hotel? Hotel's big. There's like, you meet someone at baggage claim, and there's a whole team getting off the same flight, all picking up bags. You're not gonna miss them. Hotel, he's got to meet him. Like, he can't check into that hotel on his own. It doesn't make any sense. It's infinitely easier. He's 17. He's not 18. He can't drive a rental car or anything. I'll get it. It was something else. It was a real.
He's trying to get over on you in some way.
Yeah, he's trying to get over on me. That's a good point. And I'm doing like all this stuff for him. Like, he wants to. The facility that he works out here has a facility like in that area in Florida. So I'm taking him to that facility. Like, I'm doing but like I'm doing all this stuff. I don't know. It's very frustrating to me.
It sounds that it's time to do something convenient for you. It's you're taking him to a workout facility. You're taking him to all these baseball games, all these workouts. Maybe it's time to have him at baggage claim for what? An hour most?
It's just, I mean, I'm going to end up doing that, but it's just the rigmarole of him, trying to get thoughts together to get through the whole purpose. Drop me at the hotel. And by the way, they're not staying at like the Four Seasons. They stay at like Holiday Inn or whatever. Like, I'm not positive why he wants to hang out. It's, this isn't Club Med. I know Club Med sucks, but it's, what I'm saying. It's not like some, resort where he can just, get a massage and lounge by the pool. I mean, they stay at like a efficiency essentially.
Yeah, at best he's going to be sampling the Cliff Bar selection and waiting in the lobby.
Exactly. There's no way that. I mean, it's a school trip, regardless of the that it's a private school or whatever. It's not like they can have a school trip and put you in like some like even decent hotel. Like, right. I mean, you're staying at a budget hotel, which is fine, and I'm glad they do that. But my point is, it's not like, can you drop me off at like the Ritz at on the beach, or even like a Marriott property on the beach, and I can just I'll go to the pool and I'll sit in the sun. That's not happening.
Yeah. Well, okay. He can't drive around in a rental car. Would you consider buying him a car just for a few days that he could use down
question.
there?
Oh, I could ask Felger. I go, hey Felger, can I? You got a place down there. Can you use your car?
Right. Or just crash for a little while.
Okay, that'd be so funny.
That'd be great.
Just show up.
Knock right on the door. Hi, Mike. Mind if I drop my son here?
I'm not positive his wife would mind. I don't know. He's not hard. He'd keep to his own.
Sure. Small favor.
Nice kid.
Yep.
I don't know what you need.
Take care of this one for about 2.5 hours.
Yeah. But they're probably in the Palm Beach area, and they won't let me in. I have a feeling they're butting up against Mar-a-Lago, and that's not for the likes of me. I'm unkept, too unkept for that. All right, the Celtics played tonight. It was interesting seeing one of the young players they played against play last night. He seems to be pretty good.
Yeah,
and we will have that for you and so much more on the way.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hello. We are Toucher and Hardy, and Hardy, big Celtics game last night, a home game for your Boston Celtics.
Yeah, against a team. Look, I know this Charlotte squad has won like 5 straight, and they're playing well. But look at some of the teams they're beating. They're getting wins over the Bulls and the Pacers, and this is not a team that the Celtics should have any trouble with whatsoever. This is where the win streak gets snapped for Charlotte. Coming into Boston, and the Celtics had just beaten the Milwaukee Bucks the other night without Jaylen Brown, and even though the Bucks had Giannis back, I mean, the Celtics are feeling it right now. What, John? With your little talent in the air, what?
Charlotte, second night of a back-to-back, didn't get to Boston until 5 in the morning.
Right.
With travel, Celtics already at home, had Jaylen Brown, full speed.
Everything ready to go. And this game, no game is over in the NBA until at least middle of the fourth quarter. And even then, you can't be sure. If you turn this one on early, it was over early.
Vooch is 0 for 5. LaMelo, kick out. Knippel, 3. Got it. Timeout, Joe Mazzulla, and the Hornets are running the Celtics off the floor.
That was 40-23 early on, up 17 easily.
All right, so I don't want to out myself, but I had not seen Knippel play professional basketball yet. I obviously remember him from college, but what was interesting to me is I told you guys I was listening to an NBA expert talk about how Charlotte had put it all together and the Pistons don't want to play Charlotte in the first round and da-da-da-da-da. Meaning that the Pistons are most likely the first seed in the East. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason the Pistons were brought into that conversation. And, you hear that Knippel is having this, like, almost historic rookie year, and you kind of dismiss it. He was very good in college, but he wasn't, like, the greatest. And Knippel wasn't the best player in college basketball last year. Like, so you think to yourself, okay, well, how good is this kid really? So I watched quite a bit of this game last night, specifically to see Knippel, who I'm enjoying very much because he is out LaMeloing LaMelo Ball.
Yes.
And which I do enjoy. LaMelo Ball does not like this, that Knippel makes these shots that LaMelo Ball misses so frequently. He's really good. And he's better at he's not just a straight up shooter. He can penetrate. There's a lot of things he can do.
That's the one thing that I took away from last night, too. I'd only seen him play a couple of times. He's an excellent passer, and he's great shooting on the move. He's not a spot-up guy. He can do that, obviously, but he's able to shoot while moving, and that's something very rare in a good three-point shooter.
So basically, this kid looks like he's going to be like a perennial all-star. That's essentially what it looks like.
He's trending in that direction. Right now, he's the odds-on favorite for Rookie of the Year.
Who else would win it just out of
Flag.
curiosity?
He'd be the only other guy.
Oh, yeah.
But Flag hasn't had as good a season, right?
I don't know numbers-wise.
And he's been hurt a little bit.
That's the difference. Flag's been hurt a lot. That's what's given Knippel the lead.
And you know why I would vote for Knippel, just if everything was almost equal, is that, Charlotte's not a disaster. Charlotte's not a huge disaster. I mean, Charlotte's going to make the playoffs, at least the play-in. So, I'd maybe give him a little credit for that guy.
So, Cooper Flag is averaging 20.4, 6.5 rebounds and 4 assists. Knippel is averaging 19 points, 5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, but leading in three-point percentage.
And you also, I think he's already set the rookie record for three-pointers in a game and for a season, and Charlotte is an infinitely better team than Dallas this year.
Yeah, I mean, everything runs through Flag. I'd imagine in Dallas, everything runs through Flag.
Everything runs through Flag.
And he's got to deal with two guys with similar skill sets on that starting lineup, two other guys with other similar skill sets, and they had to kind of figure things out how they were going to use the three of them together, according to information that I've ascertained from hearing it. So I don't know. He looked really good.
You didn't do your own digging on that?
No.
Okay.
No.
No, but Con can hit the three.
Knippel
Steps to his left. Quick three. No good. Back iron. Oh, of course it's good. Hit the back iron. Went about 8 feet in the air and right back down the middle.
Shooter's touch. Yeah. That's what that is.
Yeah, that looked like he missed badly. And then that, of course, bounced up about 4 feet above the rim and fell.
But, as good as the Celtics, they just undid themselves, turning the ball over. And it was funny watching, the game come back from halftime and watching, I guess, Scal say that, all we got to do, and look, he played. You can use the collective pronouns.
Yep.
All we got to do is turn him over 12 times in this half. And, because they only forced 2 turnovers in the first half. He said, we turned him over like 12 times here and turn most of those into points, and we're good. And the opening tip to start the second half, Celtics turn the ball over. It goes the other way for 2 for Charlotte.
There were a lot of times where in the NBA, everybody makes a run. Charlotte was up big at halftime. Celtics got the lead down to, I think, 15 and had the basketball. And you think, okay, this is it. This is the run. Charlotte then scored the next 8 points. Every time the door was open, maybe a millimeter, a crack, Charlotte slammed it right back in their face. Charlotte was up 8-0. I think the Celtics got it to 3 in the first quarter. They were down 12 after 1, and the game was over. Yeah. Over. The game was over. They had no chance.
Yeah. By the way, can we talk about the use of we? So I heard 2 days ago Zolak and Bertrand talking about how NBC Sports Boston uses we. I believe if you're doing the hometown call, now the call of the game, the use of we is fine because you're just broadcasting exclusively, you would think, to that team's audience. Now, pre and post we is not allowed.
Oh, so Eddie House is out? Don't like the Eddie House we?
I don't like that Eddie House isn't anywhere but his house. That's what I don't like.
Playoffs, he'll be in studio.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Like
every once in a while he travels. When Scal takes a couple of days off, he goes.
I told you, anything on a Zoom. Manning Cast might be the best thing ever. You got 2 guys in 2 different locations using glorified Zoom cameras. Not watching.
Sure.
I just don't understand why they find someone that will come in. Well, I mean, Eddie House is so brilliant that he can do it from wherever he wants. Like, find someone. No, you do it like every now and again from your house. That's fine. But, I mean, it's TV, too. That's the thing.
Right.
It worked well. I think Perkins was the original guy. I mean, they had Kendrick on during pre and post, and he did it from whatever throne he would sit on in his living room.
Yeah, and then he became a big star. So, I guess you give him a little more grace. Yeah, he did it from whatever restaurant he had built in his house. He had a whole Olive Garden side booth in his house. Very classy. Mm-hmm. Very classy.
I think they're comfy. Hey, let's not discount LaMelo Ball, though, because he had a decent night.
Knipple, left-hand dribble, into the paint. 2 pump fakes, can't knock Ugo away. Throws out the Bridges. Hornets reset it with LaMelo Ball. Right-hand dribble, nasty step back on Pritchard. 3 in the air, rattles home. Sometimes you are the windshield, and sometimes you are the bug. The Celtics just get cuffed around on their home floor from start to finish tonight.
LaMelo Ball hit a one-legged push shot 3 from the hash mark in the second half. I mean, that was part of Charlotte scoring from everywhere. I mean, it was one of those things where LaMelo Ball would make shots and then point at the bench and point at the crowd, and it's refreshing to see that Charlotte has progressed to the point where this kid almost doesn't matter. He's good. He's fine. He's a point guard. He'll get the ball where it needs to go. But now they have enough good players where if LaMelo Ball has an off night, it's fine. He doesn't need to take 25 shots a game, which he's done since he's gotten in the league. You have really good players. Brandon Miller at the end of the first half hit 2 or 3 threes in a row. You have Knipple. You have guys that can go and take over if LaMelo has his odd off night.
Well, you heard at the trade deadline, apparently he had very little value.
Yes, I did hear that.
But
yes.
John, I know your proclivities. Were you very excited about the amount of whites in the game yesterday? Many, many white people. Did anyone else notice that? There was a lot of white people. The Celtics have almost back to the 80s with white people.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if proclivity is fair. Preference maybe is a softer way of saying it. What
Demand.
What would you wish for, John, when you were watching the NBA?
I'd say, did they have five white guys on the floor at once last night? I think they might have.
Well, yeah. You're the one who keeps the little counter.
One of those bar clickers for the bouncer?
The bouncer clicker.
Sometimes you look at it, you're like, oh my goodness, there's a great deal of white people in this game right now. Mm-hmm. My goodness.
Mm-hmm. Hauser, Shireman, Vucevic, Pritchard, all on the floor at once. And Ugo. There you go. There's your 5.
Right, and then you go to Charlotte. I mean, they could put at least 4 on the floor at the same time. So, what are you going to do?
So that leaves us with the Celtics with the night off, and then tomorrow night at home against the Mavericks, which would be 20 games left in the season. And will that be the return of Jason Tatum?
I think it will be.
Well, John, you thought he was coming back this week.
I did. I was almost positive it was going to be last night. So I think it'll be tomorrow night because they have an extremely difficult road trip after the game against Dallas. Cleveland, San Antonio, and Oklahoma City, all in a row. I don't think he's going to return during that.
What was the thing in Slack that they've jammed up all the documentaries now?
Yes.
Adam Himmelsbach tweeted that, make of it what you will, but they are rapid releasing these episodes, LOL. So the Jason Tatum, The Quiet Work Chapter 4 came out 18 hours ago.
Okay, Leroy and Cerrone were on the week. No, it was Leroy and Joe, and they were on. And Leroy was saying like if you don't like what Tatum's doing, you just have. And Leroy's like our age. I don't think he's much younger than us. And he's like, if you don't like it, you just have to understand with the documentary and everything. You just have to understand that the players are not using media the way they used to use media. Which I understand, but I don't think that's fair for this argument. It will always be true. You shouldn't self-mythologize. Like, there is something extraordinarily corny about self-mythologizing. If someone approaches you and they say, I would like to make a documentary on your life or about, like, I don't know, the Cuban Missile Crisis or something like you were involved in, that's fine. But to be actively involved other than being the participant in a documentary about your return from an injury. And he's also getting unfairly killed for some of this stuff, like him being upset about the injury. I've heard him get killed for that. Yeah, this is his living. You tear an Achilles. If you tear your Achilles in middle school and you're like into basketball, that sucks. You're losing a year of your playing career, whether at amateur, at any level. You blow your Achilles, you blow your elbow in baseball. Like, these are big deals. Like, I understand.
Yeah.
Like, well, you didn't have cancer. No, he didn't have cancer. But not everything has to be death. Like, this is a big deal. I understand that completely. Like, I understand crying even if you have a devastating injury, the rehab, the question if you can come back. All those things. I mean, just say you're going to come back. Just losing a year of your career is, incredibly painful. That aside, this is, in my opinion, this is nothing about like, oh, well, players just aren't doing things traditionally anymore, and this, and that. I think just a common thread throughout humanity is, and it will never change, and this isn't a generational thing. Self-mythologizing is corny. It's just embarrassing, kind of. Like, I am making something to make myself look good, and it's being produced and made, and then I sit back and go, see? Like, that, have someone else do it. Have it be someone else's idea. And this is a fairly minor thing as documentaries go. Documentaries are about real big things that affects lots of people, not stuff like this. Go ahead.
Did you, and we've brought this up before, and I know you answered this question, but I'd forgotten the response. Kobe Bryant made like a full-length movie about tearing his Achilles. He was actively involved. It was I think he was the executive producer on the whole thing. It was called Kobe Bryant's Muse. It was an hour and a half long. How did you feel about that?
Well, John, I think this speaks louder than anything I could say. I had no idea it was ever made.
Oh, okay.
So that kind of gives you, since that movie you say has been made, which obviously it has, maybe that's a heads up to everyone not to make this one.
Got it. Okay.
No, I didn't ever see an hour-and-a-half movie about Kobe Bryant's. Now, if they made a documentary about Kobe Bryant's life,
that's what it kind of turns into as part of his rehab.
Yeah, I know, but he was still playing, right? So, now is not the time. Like, it's not the time. It's not the time to do it unless there was. I don't know. Coming back from an injury is not. It's not worthy, in my opinion, of a documentary. Let alone one you're actively involved in producing. It's too much.
He was also in Love and Basketball.
Kobe was?
Yeah, looking at the IMDb.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the sequel, Love and Basketball 2, Double Dribble.
Double Dribble.
You made that up.
But you bought it.
No, you made that up. Did not buy it.
You got excited. You thought there was a new movie you could go home and watch.
No. Didn't get me. Didn't get me on that Parker guy yesterday. Didn't get me on that.
It's funny. He'd watch that, but he did Rivalry about hockey.
Yeah.
He won't even lay his eyes on it. He won't even
Even though
turning
it's
it on.
chock full of whites.
Whites and hockey. But you know what the problem is? The gays. That's why he won't get into it.
Yeah.
I wonder if they could just make a super cut of just the hockey. If John would finally, or would the fact that they're gay bother you so much you wouldn't even watch them play hockey?
I'm not sure how to answer this without getting into a lot of trouble.
He had to think about it.
Yeah. No. Scruff.
All right. Ryan's very into Heated Rivalry. Apparently, it's very explicit.
Huh.
It's HBO, you know.
No,
they can get away with anything.
Oh, yeah.
All right. The guy was a good host on Saturday Night Live. He was all in. I thought he was a very good host. I've never seen him or heard of him in my entire life because I'm so straight. But he was a good Saturday Night Live host. I even texted Adam. I'm like, after some duds, this guy he was invested. He had to stand on stage while they had the nice moment with the women's hockey players and the men's hockey players, which I like that they did because it shows that whole thing was a little ridiculous between the two teams, but not well acted. That's why we did not play the audio. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics got blown out at home by Charlotte last night, 118-89. It's their worst loss of the season. Jaylen Brown, 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists in the loss. They have tonight off. They'll play Dallas at TD Garden tomorrow night. Bruins will be in Nashville tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7:30 and the face-off at 8 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots made big news yesterday. They informed Stephon Diggs he will be released next week. Garrett Crochet allowed 3 runs in 2 2/3 innings. Red Sox lost the preseason game to the Yankees 4-0 in Fort Myers yesterday. They visit Philadelphia today, and today is day 1 of the World Baseball Classic in Tokyo. Australia has already beaten Chinese Taipei 3-0. Right now, Korea leads Czechia 8-3 in the 5th inning. The U.S. opens with Brazil tomorrow night in Arizona. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Super Service Today. When your heat or hot water goes out, waiting isn't an option. Super Service Today's warehouse in Danvers is stocked with water heaters, furnaces, boilers, and heat pumps with same-day replacement. Day or night and always done right. Visit superservicetoday.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
JR, Toucher, and Hardy. Gabe, go ahead, Gabe.
Hey guys, just want to talk about Tatum real quick. So when we first found out about the documentary that he was doing, it was planned out that episode was going to come out each Sunday, which would mean in 5 Sundays would be March 22nd at home against the Timberwolves, against, the other man of the league, Anthony Edwards.
Right.
I think that's what they planned on with NBC because they gave out that date, and now they're rushing it because Tatum wants to come back sooner. And the only other days, look, because NBC, they want it to be on NBC because that documentary, NBC did it,
Mm-hmm.
So NBC wants that game. So they could possibly take the date of the 18th when they're home against the Warriors or home against the Suns on the 16th. But obviously they're pushing it up and things are changing. And also, Fred, I emailed you a thing about tanking and how the 10 worst teams should do a mini tournament on the off nights of playoff games. And you'll have a Final Four trying to get the top 3 picks who are the top 3 players. And, I think it would work out. When you get eliminated, you get seeded.
The problem with that is no one's going to watch it, and they need people to watch it. By the way, that even we're discussing that he would come back because of a documentary and the game being on NBC, which is a valid point, is a little ridiculous. But the NBC games they have coming up in terms of Peacock NBC, the real NBC, not the local one,
Right.
is San Antonio on Tuesday, and then on, like he said, on March 22nd, the Minnesota game. That's a Sunday night game. So there you go. It is. They haven't done it, so it's kind of almost unfair. But if they were wanting to line up some release of a documentary, if he's coming back, I do contend that not that many people care outside of this market. That Jason Tatum's return is not going to be some kind of international sensation or even national sensation.
And that's the difference. Kobe Bryant can make that 90-minute movie because he's one of the best players in the history of the game. Jason Tatum, while one of the best players in the league right now, has not even close to that level. So that's why you have each documentary piece is 5 minutes?
I don't know. I won't watch it.
It's not long.
Yeah,
so
they're not lengthy yet. Now I haven't watched one yet. I've seen I see the clips that they put out, the promo clips, but
it's not lengthy. No.
There was breaking news yesterday, gentlemen.
Who broke it?
During the Felger and Maz show.
Meanwhile, we have breaking news.
This is Breaking Sports News, powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Oh, is that me? This according to Tom Pelissero on Twitter.
You are the update guy.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure. I didn't know how that. I didn't know if you wanted to do it.
No, we're going to
The Patriots have informed 4-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Stephon Diggs that they are releasing him after the start of the league year next week, per sources.
I understand why Dendero, and I'm not being sarcastic, why he didn't know if he should do it or not, because who knows what Felger wants to say. I mean, Felger might want to jump right in there and say it.
Correct.
So I give him some grace on that. Yeah, they cut Diggs. So, they'll probably go after another receiver.
Yeah, there are two guys who can be at the top of the food chain for you. One is A.J. Brown. And the A.J. Brown asking price, we found out yesterday, is kind of what the Jets wanted for Quinnen Williams. A first, a second, and a starting player.
Yeah.
Are you willing to give up all that for A.J. Brown? I'm not.
No.
Who's the starting player the Jets got?
The defensive lineman.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Phillips. I think they got a good defensive lineman.
Yeah, it's a defensive lineman.
Okay.
They got. So starting defensive lineman, a first and a second for Quinnen Williams. Mm-hmm. Or you spend $25 or $30 million a year on Alec Pierce, who is going to be the top free agent wide receiver available. That seems to be it as far as impact wide receivers.
Mozzie Smith was the no one cares, but I was just curious. Mozzie Smith was the defensive tackle.
Those are the two avenues right now in front of him.
That's far too much for A.J. Brown, who's got he's on the cusp of an injury, and also he's again. You got that guy from Philadelphia. He said he's not a problem. He's a problem. I just don't think he's good enough to justify. And then, by the way, he is getting paid a tremendous amount of money.
Yep.
So if I was a Patriots fan, that's not something that would overly excite me, getting A.J. Brown. That's putting the cart before the horse.
I'd give up if you say it'll cost me a second-round pick that's near the bottom of the second round. I would consider that.
That's what I was going to say. I'll give you a second.
I'll give you a bottom of the second round pick.
Pick number
63 or whatever it is.
60, whatever it is. Sure, absolutely.
I'd do that, but not a first, a second, and a player. No chance.
So this helps the Patriots avoid that $6 million that was going to be guaranteed to Stephon Diggs, and also has it wide open for them in terms of receivers. So any thought of having both Stephon Diggs and A.J. Brown, or Stephon Diggs and Alec Pierce, however you wanted to work it in your mind, that's not going to happen. So your de facto number one guy is now gone. You needed a true number one beforehand. Now they have to get one. They're really they don't have any wiggle room on this. You can't explain your way out of it. You got to get one. And even if it's not 100% desirable for all the reasons that you could make for A.J. Brown or the money that you're going to have to spend on Alec Pierce, you have to do it.
The thing is
Pierce a number one?
No, he's not.
And so don't you have deep threats anyway?
It depends on how you feel about Kayshon Boutte. Is Kayshon Boutte a deep threat?
Take the top off.
This guy
defense.
Pierce has averaged over 20 yards a catch. This guy Pierce has averaged over 20 yards a catch the last 2 seasons with mediocre quarterbacks throwing him the football. We know Drake May is a very good deep ball thrower. Maybe projecting out, this kid will pop a little bit.
Isn't Kyle Williams supposed to be a deep threat?
He's supposed to be, yes.
Yeah.
And didn't you just take him?
Yes. You took him in the 3rd round last year.
Okay.
I will say Vrabel during the breakup press conference up in Foxborough said, and unprompted said, receivers from year 1 to year 2 make that big leap. So maybe he was talking about Williams.
One of May's best throws of the season was a long touchdown pass to Kyle Williams. I mean, it's he can do it. It's just consistently, is he going to be that guy?
I agree with Hardy. They need a number one, but you would think that number one, you bring in number one, Boutte would be your 2, Kyle Williams would be your deep threat, and Pop Douglas would be your kind of slot guy.
Mm-hmm.
Alec Pierce isn't a number one receiver, and he's a guy who takes the top off the defense, but you just invested in a kid that is supposed to take the top off the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Look, if they signed Alec Pierce, congratulations. I mean, May loves throwing deep when it's not the playoffs and, when it's against bad teams. But listen, this guy has proven that he can do that
against suspect secondaries. Yeah,
against secondaries playing street for that are the equivalent of the Chechnya World Baseball Classic team. By the way, the World Baseball Classic is on now. The guy from Chechnya, his fastball was like 83 miles an hour.
They took him out. They replaced him with a guy who can throw 90,
which means that he would not pitch for Lawrence Academy, let alone in the World Baseball Classic, based on velocity.
Chechnya has scored 3 runs this morning, Fred. Clearly, they belong.
That's actually better than I thought they'd do.
Yeah.
And good for them only giving up 8 runs. I mean, that guy was throwing junk.
It's 8-3 in the 6th inning. I mean, that's not an embarrassment. They can play a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
No, I thought when John was pointing out the starter and we were seeing he had a 75-mile-an-hour changeup and an 83, 82-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, that he was keeping way off the plate because he's not dumb. He might suck, but he's not stupid.
And by the way, that's the opening. I take it this is the first game.
This is day 1.
Yeah,
yes.
He's the opening day starter. So it only gets worse from there, I would imagine. So not great. Not great for that. But that's the debate. Is Alec Pierce Alec Pierce seems like a complimentary guy. Like if you had a true number one, if you'd want a guy.
Oh, he would be fantastic.
So I'm not opposed of them, spending a lot of money in free agency based on where they are. I'm not positive that's the guy that you would want. And we'll see. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. We can ask Burt Breer. Burt Breer will be with us for a full hour as we acquiesce to his whims again. Big vacation tomorrow, can't be on. We'll talk to him in just a moment.
Hub headline, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics had their 3-game winning streak snapped by the hottest team in the NBA last night. They got blown out at home by Charlotte, 118-89. Con Knippel scored 20 points. LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller added 18 apiece for the winners, who took an 8-0 lead and never trailed in this game. Derek White scored a game-high 29 points in a loss.
They're playing really well. I mean, they got a lot of talented players out there and a lot of guys that can shoot the ball, and they're playing unselfishly, and defensively they're competing at a high level.
The Green will have tonight off. They host Dallas tomorrow evening. Bruins will be in Nashville to play the Predators tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7:30 and the face-off at 8 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots made some big news yesterday. They informed Stephon Diggs he will be released next week before a $6 million payment that was due a week from tomorrow. The team will also get over $16 million in cap savings. A big NFL trade yesterday. The Rams got all-pro defensive back Trent McDuffie from Kansas City for 1st, 5th, and 6th round draft picks this year and a 3rd rounder next year. Garrett Crochet allowed 3 runs in 2 2/3 innings. Red Sox lost an exhibition game to the Yankees 4-0 in Fort Myers. And today is day 1 of the World Baseball Classic in Tokyo. Australia beat Chinese Taipei in the first game 3-0. Right now, Korea leads Czechia 8-3 with the game going to the 7th. The U.S. opens with Brazil tomorrow night. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the $14.99 Big Deal Meals at the 99. Like the roasted turkey dinner. All Big Deal meals are now available all day, every day for just $14.99. You gotta love the 9s. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8 o'clock.
Deep three, violent two-hand slam. Wow.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Hey, listen, if you've got to go, we understand, but make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Todger and Hardy.
That's what I want on my tombstone.
On the Sports Hub.
Look, if your cap number is about to balloon to $26 million and you're going to turn 33 in the middle of the season, right now, when you're always trying to maximize return on...
All
right. Sorry about that, guys. I was confused because they were all turned this way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so I couldn't
you know
tell
what?
which one
No, I'm
was which.
sorry. I was wrong. I told you the wrong mic.
Okay. So, thank you, Hardy.
Yeah. All right. So you're traveling.
That was a fake thank you. That was like the thank you gave to Payless.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, Adam told me it was fine. I don't know. Thursdays.
Shout out to Payless. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah. So you weren't really thanking me.
Oh, the Payless thing. Yeah.
See, we were following your
You
journey.
were rapt attention for
Thank
the
you
trip.
for documenting that on Instagram, Bert.
I thought you guys would enjoy that. I don't know.
It was captivating. I love it. Bert had to take his bags down from his house because the dude couldn't even get up. The driver who's the best.
In my defense, like we did get it worse than everywhere else. Like our my town got it. Like I think about it as bad as.
Oh, I don't doubt that you got a lot of snow, and that affects, and it's a pain in the ass. It affected all your
I just
flights.
thought it'd be like kind of a look inside of me trying to get to Indianapolis, and it was complicated.
Right, but you acted, getting the Uber.
I don't think I acted aggrieved though.
No,
I was like,
that wasn't it. But the thing is that when you couldn't rent the car, but you took the Uber, like the Uber's better because then you didn't have to drop the car off the airport.
Better, yeah,
it's better.
True. Yeah, it was.
That's like a luxury.
It wasn't quite planes, trains, and automobiles. I
actually
you got in a car and you drove to the place you're going.
The price of the Uber was only $215, which was like I thought that was stunningly low.
Wow, really?
It was an Uber XL for 100 miles from Cincinnati to Indianapolis. It was only $215.
If you would have gotten a car service, it would have been like $400.
I thought that was crazy low because in my head the whole time when we're driving the hour and a half, whatever, the whole time I'm thinking to myself, how does this make sense for the driver? Because it's not like he's going to get to Indianapolis and somebody's just going to be like, oh yeah, take me back to Cincinnati. He's probably eating the drive back, right?
How much would an Uber be? Have you ever tried to get one like from downtown Boston? You get all banged up on a Saturday night. And it's
never
like, you know what?
that.
Just Uber me back to Duxbury.
No, because when we've done that sort of thing before, like gone out for dinner with people. We've done that, or to a concert or whatever.
He'll just drive.
We get no, I have this the car service guy, who I think you guys were making fun of.
We weren't making fun of the car service guy. We were making fun
of
your,
by the way,
your oral, not oral, your
I was just
word salad fellation.
Again, this is another example of me trying to help local business out.
Or maybe get free rides.
No.
Something of that nature, I would assume.
So I would say that's by far the longest Uber ride I've ever taken.
Sure.
I don't think I've ever taken an Uber ride more than 5 miles or whatever it is, within a city. So maybe I just don't have a concept of how much it normally costs. But that sounds like
that seems very
cheap.
low. That seems very low to me too. I mean, I take a lot of lifts because I can't get on Uber anymore. I don't know why. I'm locked out. I'm not banned. I'm locked out. It's a technical thing. It's not a. It would require calling them, and I'm not doing that.
Did you forget your password or something, or?
I can't get in, and they say to call the technical service about getting in, and I'm not.
You're not doing that. Because you call one of those places, and it's impossible to get a human being on the phone.
Right. So and Lyft is fine. Everyone who drives Uber seemingly drives Lyft too. There's no difference in it. But I've taken stuff from downtown and then back to my house on a Saturday night or something after
12
a game.
miles, something like that. Right?
Not even maybe. Yeah. And it's and it's been, $70. So, I mean, the fact that you got that far for that little money, I wonder if it's because it's on the freeway and they won't be using a lot of gas. I don't know. I don't know, but it does seem cheap to me too. All right. But listen, you got there, you were at the whole event. Let's talk about the NFL. We'll get into Diggs next break. Okay, let's do that. But let's get into the NFL as a whole. What were, in terms of big names, relatively big names, right? What in big positions like quarterback? What were you? Was there anything interesting you heard when you were out and about there in Indianapolis?
You mean veterans or the rookies?
Veterans. We'll get in last break into the rookies.
Yeah. So I think. The interesting thing was that was a little unique is that Kyler and Tua wanted to be cut, and you don't hear that very often. And I think sometimes players don't like the optics of being cut, Mm-hmm. I think sometimes players would rather be traded than cut. But I think from a business perspective, it made sense for both those guys to be cut. Kyler's already been cut. Tua will be cut if the Dolphins can't work out a trade. And I think at this point, the Dolphins would have to pay almost all of his salary to facilitate a trade, which they're going to be responsible for anyway. But I think with both those guys, what's interesting is they're going to get out on the market, and they're going to be playing on an offset. And for people who don't know, that basically means their original teams are picking up the freight for them minus the minimum in 2026, which allows Kyler and Tua to make pure football decisions. What is best for me football-wise? And we've seen all these stories over the last few years of guys basically resurrecting their careers at that position. Now, that's Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones. And so, now I think Tua and Kyler are in this really interesting spot where they can just say, whatever's best for my career, there's no difference money-wise. And all these teams that need quarterbacks, it doesn't make a difference for them. I mean, in fact, they're more these guys are more attractive.
Of course, because
you can get them on a minimum.
Now, is the most attractive job Minnesota?
Yeah, and I think that's where Kyler wants to go. That's where Tua wants to go. I think if Mac Jones were a free agent, and it was really smart by the Niners to do a 2-year deal with him, so now everybody has to come to them.
And they won a lot.
Yeah, they do. And that was something that they learned from the Sam Darnold situation. It's we probably could have gotten something from Sam Darnold off of our year of development of Sam Darnold a couple of years ago. So Mac Jones really wanted to be there last year, and so they insisted on a 2-year deal. Now either they have him back as a really high-end backup, or they're going to trade him for a pick. And I think it would take probably a day 2 pick to get him,
right.
Which is if you're talking about
price to pay for, and you're taking a big chance on a kid that failed the first time
again.
around.
Yeah, but again, like you look at him and it's like, okay, like he is, I think it's 4.6 million. So that's still really low. So if you view him as like Mac Jones can be like a high-end bridge for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we can, if you're the Jets, you're the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are carrying that huge, like that huge charge for Tua, where they're going to be paying $53 million to have him not on their roster this year, and you're maybe trying to bridge it. Like, how do we get to 2027 when there's going to be a ton of quarterbacks in the draft? Mac Jones might not be a bad answer because he is cheap. Now, do you want to give up a second or third round pick to get him? I don't think Miami would do that. But if this is essentially the Niners generating a second or third round pick if it happens out of thin air, because all they had to pay was money to get Mac Jones.
Okay, I did hear an analyst toss it out there. Would it be possible that they're playing for the veteran minimum and they can go wherever they want? Is it possible, especially Tua, would want to go to like a program like San Francisco in that they have like a brilliant offensive guy that in back up for a year?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely something to consider. There are also, Indianapolis and Atlanta are also sort of interesting situations in that both those quarterbacks, if Daniel Jones goes back there, right, you're going to have quarterbacks coming off of very significant injuries. And so if you're one of these guys, that means you get starter reps through the spring and the summer. Because those guys are probably, I would say both those guys are probably going to be right on the edge of week one. So, like, if you're Tua or you're Kyler and there's not, like, a starter job out there for you, or you don't like the starter job, like, say there's a starter job out there for you, but it's like, I don't,
like the Jets or something.
Like, potentially, like that might do more damage than good.
Right.
Do I go to Indianapolis or Atlanta where I've got good skill position players around me, and I'm the starter in the spring and the summer, so I'm getting starter reps all the way through, and then maybe I get to start a couple games at the start of the year. That's something to consider also.
Yeah, you get a lot of people to look at you, and
right.
You've got kind of a chance at maybe getting the job. Probably not, but at least you're in a better situation.
Right, and I think what Sam Darnold and Mac Jones would tell you about the year they spent backing up Brock Purdy in San Francisco is that was hugely beneficial to them.
Yeah.
So, like if you view one of those situations, like Kevin Stefanski's a good quarterbacks guy. Shane Steichen's a good quarterbacks guy. Like going to those places and getting the benefit of like being the starter through the spring and the summer. It's not the same as starting in the season, but like that's a lot of like good learning time that you're going to have to develop as a potential starting quarterback for someone at some point.
What is the belief on the strength of the free agency class?
So, well, I think it sucks overall, and that's just the reality of
free agency
in general. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it's like the cap's over $300 million now. So, the fact is that if these teams want to keep you, they can keep you. And
right.
So, I mean, I think that's why it's even more important now than ever before to ask, why is a guy available? Like, why is this player on the market in the first place before you go and spend $20 or $30 million a year on a guy?
Patriots have that kind of decision.
Yeah. I mean, I can, and you guys know, I've got like some of the analytics here that the teams keep and the numbers on the way it's going to work. And so like, I look at where the bigger numbers are on some of these charts, and, you see some of there are a few corners that are going to be like Tariq Woolen in Seattle, Alontae Taylor from New Orleans. Like the edge rushers, there are a couple of interesting names. This would be of interest to the Patriots because, not only is there a prospect of Max Crosby being traded, but then you've got Trey Hendrickson and Odafe Owe, who had a really good year for the Chargers after he was traded. Jalen Phillips, Kawhi Pay, and then
kid Mafe from Seattle's got to be in there somewhere, right?
Yep. And then you've got like some of the older guys who may be more like 1-year contract guys, like Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa.
Does no one like John Franklin Myers?
So
I like John Franklin Myers.
I didn't mention him he's the one that I think is going to surprise a lot of people with what he gets, because he's unique in that, now he's a little older, but
29.
But he's like got inside outside versatility, and that's what a lot of teams are looking for, and those are hard to find. And
you know what team?
I was talking
let him
to
go, and then they went whoopsies. You can take one guy.
Well,
go ahead. When he was young, right?
Yeah, but he could wind up with Saleh in Tennessee. But
Yeah.
I think John Franklin Myers is going to wind up over $20 million per year. And what's interesting about him is he's one, like, when you ask why, right? Like, I think there was a why with Milton Williams last year.
Yep.
The why was because they have Jalen Carter, they have Jordan Davis, they have so many mouths to feed on the roster. Like, they can't sign everybody. And John Franklin Myers is sort of the same thing, in that in Denver, they're paying Nick Bonito, they're paying Jonathan Cooper, they're paying Zach Allen. So that's 3 guys on the defensive front that are being paid at a very high level. So it's like you can't just pay everyone.
Franklin Myers, though, and you'll excuse me, but I am a big fan of his. He would be an upgrade of any edge rusher that the Patriots had last year. I think.
And he's kind of like that Dio Odonyingbo who went from the Colts to the Bears last year, where again, like you want to be like a little creative with him, and so yes, he'll play like on the edge on early downs, then he'll reduce down and play inside. That's where it like might get a little tricky for the Patriots, but
right, because
because you have Barmore and you have Williams there.
Barmore for now, yeah.
So how do you use him? If Barmore winds up gone, that's a guy who, okay, like we'll bring back Tonga and we sign Franklin Myers, and so now we have like a real dude on the edge who can come inside and when Tonga comes off the field in third down play.
Yeah, I just was curious. The more I look at this, why he's never linked to the Patriots. Go ahead.
The other position would be running back. Obviously Hall got tagged, and Kenneth Walker is free.
What happened there? Because there was all the reports where they were going to tag him, and then they didn't.
So I think this is sort of a result of like John Schneider, the general manager in Seattle, learning from the last time around and learning that we have to pick and choose who we're going to pay. And, I think the last time around they sort of paid, 10 years ago, they paid everybody. And it kind of hamstrung them in certain ways. And so
10 years ago, was that the
Legion of Boom?
The Legion of Boom guys, okay.
Yeah, so like I think this time around, they know Devin Weatherspoon's going to be really expensive. They know Jackson Smith and Jigbaugh's going to be really expensive. They're already paying Charles Cross. Byron Murphy in time is going to be really expensive. And so you start to look at like, all right, like where do we make this work? And so Kenneth Walker is going to be a really interesting one. I think the Chiefs are going to have very real interest in him. If you look at what the
every mock has them taking Love, so I could see why they would be interested in him.
Yeah, they're definitely going to look to upgrade running back. And the number that McDuffie cleared yesterday, which was 13.8, is right around what Walker's going to get. So I think Walker, Denver, Kansas City will be in the mix. Houston was going to be in the mix. Obviously, they trade for Montgomery. And then you go down the list, and there's some interesting names like Travis Etienne. I think is going to get over 10. Maybe like a New Orleans is interested in him. And then, a couple of guys like Rashad White, Rico Dowdle.
Dowdle had a really good year.
Dowdle was really good, and Dowdle is somebody, I think that's another one for Denver, where I think Denver is going to be looking to pair somebody with R.J. Harvey. So running backs got like a bunch of interesting names. And, I think this is like one of those free agent classes where, once you get past the, guys like Alec Pierce and Franklin Myers, you start to get into, okay, like where can you find value? And I think it's, this is one of those years where you have to have a good scouting department who's going to be able to dig some like mid-tier names out.
Yeah. And there's going to be, if you need a little bit of toot and someone who's going to carry on the program, you get yourself an Alex Anzalone.
There you go. There you go. Great flow.
And you're also going to really overpay.
Riz.
And that's exactly what's going to end up happening. White guy with long hair.
Chase Winovich, baby. That's it.
Yep. Pick who you want to endorse locally.
Yes, sir.
Because they'll give Chase Winovich couldn't get enough ads because you could see his hair outside.
Don't wait
of his
for the
helmet.
offers. You just go to anybody and say you, and you, and they'll make it work.
Right.
Because people can identify you on the field. All right, so we'll be back. We'll get into Diggs, what that means for we'll get into Alec Pierce. We'll get into A.J. Brown. We'll get into all of that with Bird Brew from MMQB in just a moment.
Stay tuned.
Stephon Diggs had kind of gone from more of an inside slot receiver. And I think if you're New England, you're Mike Vrabel, you're looking for somebody that can help Drake May ascend, not somebody that Drake May has to carry. And I think at this point in his career, Drake May was starting to have to carry Stephon Diggs instead of somebody that can...
Toucher and Hardy, Bert Breer from MMQB is here. He covers the entire NFL. All right, yesterday... the Patriots released Diggs. I take it that was a favor to him, the timing of it.
Yeah, that's doing right by the player. When you let him go ahead of free agency, it gives him a chance to get a jump on the market, which you know how these things can work. Seats fill up fast, cash and cap budgets get spent, and so it becomes harder. It'll be a lot harder for a player like Stephon Diggs in a week or two than it is right now.
All right. So what does that mean for the Patriots? Let's start with Alec Pierce. Mm-hmm. A lot has been made about him, but he's a deep threat. Is that what the Patriots need?
Yeah.
Could he be a number one?
So I don't know that he's necessarily. If you're looking for him to be a complete receiver who can play at all three levels, like that's not really what he is. And I know, like, just having talked to some people around him, and I'm going to pull up some of my notes on him from the last couple of days, but what I got from someone last night, low volume pass catcher, most catches he ever had in a year, 47, because he's kind of a one-trick pony, gets covered on the traditional route tree, yards per catch is insane. If you're signing him, your quarterback better be good at throwing the ball deep, and you better have an offense that majors in that. So the Patriots would be a match from that standpoint, that they've got a quarterback who is an excellent deep ball thrower.
And all kinds of time for him to get downfield. I don't know if I would automatically be in lockstep with them being a perfect match for the deep threat. All right, go ahead.
I do think because he's 25, there's some development potential there. I said, like, one of the rules of free agency for me is you always got to ask why a guy's available, right? The other rule, and I think I've said this to you guys before, that someone gave me, and I started calling it the Alvin Harper rule, because Alvin Harper was
deep threat. Yep.
Well, no, it's not that specifically. I called it the Alvin Harper rule because Alvin Harper was given to me as like the best example. People don't know who aren't of our age. Alvin Harper was the number 2 receiver on the great Cowboys teams in the 90s and wound up signing with the Buccaneers. I think it was in like 94 and never wound up becoming much of anything as the Buccaneers number 1. The Alvin Harper rule is beware of turning a number 2 into a number 1. And signing a number 2 corner or a number 2 pass rusher or a number 2 receiver with the thought that they're going to be your number 1. And that's like would be a little bit of my fear on Pierce is so he had a great year this year, right? Mm-hmm. Where is he on the list of things you're concerned about when you're playing the Colts?
A third, fourth, offensively.
Right.
Right.
Like he's behind Jonathan Taylor.
Yep.
He's behind Michael Pittman.
Yes.
He's behind Tyler Warren, maybe also.
That was the debate I was having. Yes.
And Josh Downs is a good slot.
Yes.
So,
but having said all of that, where does he rank as far as free agents go at the wide receiver
position? He's number 1.
Yeah.
And he's number 1. He's going to get $25 to $30 million per year. And but the question becomes when you're projecting that. Now here's the other part.
For how many? What's the most catches he had in a season?
47. So
he had 47 for over 1,000 yards last night.
I know.
So he's over 20 yards a catch. So the question becomes, and we're being fair to him here. The question becomes: is that because he wasn't good enough, or is that because they had a really balanced offense with a lot of good players and they didn't need him to do some of the other stuff? So that's where you have to project him a little bit. We also talked about the information part of it, right? I think this is what everyone here has missed the last couple of weeks. All right, so last year, 80-90% of the guys they signed had connections to the coaching staff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know who Alec Pierce's college coach was?
No.
Mike Vrabel's best friend in the world. Luke Fickell.
Okay.
Of course, Luke Fickell.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you looked at us like we should have known that.
No, I mean, I
didn't.
But I think you guys have heard that, right? So Luke Fickell and Mike Vrabel played together at Ohio State. They are best of friends. They were in a charity together in Columbia.
Okay. Yeah, I think that your connection to that program has you a little twisted on what other
all right,
people,
well, maybe you should
civilians know about it.
All right, but anyway, but I think that's relevant here, though.
Sure.
Is that like when
Yes.
you're talking about, and if you go back and you look at some of the things that Luke Fickell said about Alec Pierce when he was at the University of Cincinnati, you'll see like what a valuable piece Pierce was there, and how Luke Fickell would constantly say Alec Pierce's best football is ahead of him.
Okay.
So, like, I think that's the question. Is it's not what he is now, because you're not paying him for what he's been the last 2 years. You're paying for him for what you think he's going to be for the next 4.
So are you saying the Patriots are going to target him and sign him?
They're in on him. They're one of the teams that's in on him, yes. Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, and there's going to be competition. Vegas is in on him. San Francisco's in on him. Tennessee's in on him. Buffalo's in on him. Like, so there's a number of teams that are like which is what's going to drive the price up.
Okay, so what would you guess the Patriots' plan is, or what they end up doing? Are they going to try and get something through the draft in order to boost the receiver position? And
I think you're going to see veteran help of some sort here, like whether that's A.J. Brown. Whether
How
that's
realistic
Alec
is
Pierce.
A.J. Brown?
I think a lot of that's going to come down to price. Now, like the way the comp I heard the Eagles have used for it is Devontae Adams. Because Devontae Adams was in his 30s when he was traded from the Packers to the Raiders.
I was reading a Quinnen Williams type package last night.
Right. So, but Devontae Adams, a 1 and a 2. Quinnen Williams, a 1 and a 2.
And a player.
Right, and that was in a player.
Yeah.
Now, the difference with Quinnen Williams was one of the picks was a year off. So,
Okay.
like, the first-round pick is in 2027.
But didn't the Jets ask for that?
The Jets asked for that, yeah. But the Cowboys or the Jets asked for that. The Cowboys didn't want to give up 2 picks in the same year.
Okay.
So it was either a 1 this year and a 2 next year, or flipped. So, like I that's what the Eagles are asking for. What I've heard other teams are valuing him at is more what Stephon Diggs, and not the Stephon Diggs trade from Minnesota to Buffalo, but the trade from Buffalo to Houston, which was a 2 and then a pick swap. And so that's a pretty big gap.
that's a huge difference. You're going to give up the 1?
Massive.
It's a pretty big gap. So, like, Howie Roseman's doing what he always does, which he is working through this. He's asking for the moon and the stars, and we'll see what he winds up getting. I don't think it'll be a 1 and a 2. But are you willing to give up the 31st pick for him? And so, like, that becomes a question. The other part of it that I think is interesting is A.J. Brown's camp has done their research on potential landing spots. So, like, I think that part of it, too, you'd be naive to think that there hadn't been communication between A.J. Brown's camp and the Patriots, given the connections. And I don't think they're alone. Like, I think that this is, like, A.J. Brown, they're doing their job. His camp, they're doing their job and figuring out if we are going to push really hard for a trade, who are the teams that are really interested, because that's going to color how hard you push. So, like, all of that sort of, I think there's moving parts there. And, I think the Eagles have to consider, too, now, like, all right, like, once you open that door and once you've kind of, like, can you turn around and walk back through? you know?
Yeah. I mean, now that the door is open, they've kind of forced themselves into they're going to have to trade him, and they're almost certainly going to have to walk back the 1 and a 2 and a player.
And I will say this: I think A.J. Brown is well liked in the Eagles organization.
Yeah, let's talk about that because he all the reports are that he's a pain in the ass, but then John, with his connections, had a guy from Philadelphia say that's all overblown and that Brown is not a problem. What's the reality there?
The reality is I think there's been some friction between him and the quarterback. And I think I've said this with Brady 5-6 years ago. You guys remember when Brady got up there and said, like, I'm the most miserable 8-0 quarterback ever, whatever, right? And I remember making the comment to you guys that you can't expect these guys to be the most competitive individuals on the face of planet Earth when it comes to team accomplishment, and then not be competitive about their own individual performance. And that's what Brady was getting at. It was frustrating to him because there wasn't enough around him, and it was affecting his individual performance, and he was miserable because he wasn't performing individually. I think that's sort of where A.J. Brown was. Like, is that like his individual performance the last 2 years hasn't been where he thought it should be. And like, look, like I think there are circumstances where the quarterback was a piece of that. And so, you know, like I think that sort of friction and if you know Jalen Hurts isn't like the kind of guy who's going to go and put his arm around every receiver who's having a hard time. You know, so there's a little friction there. And I think a big piece of A.J. Brown's next step, whatever it would be, yeah, I want to go win, but I want to go to a place where I'm going to be able to maximize the end of my career too. So whatever legacy I leave, I'm doing the most to make sure that everybody sees how good I still am. And so, like, I certainly think, like, that means going to a place with a quarterback. And now the Patriots are in that category.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with more Bert Breer, and we can kind of wade into the draft in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics suffered their worst loss of the season last night. They got blown out at home by Charlotte, 118-89. Hornets got 20 points from Rookie of the Year favorite Con Knipple. Charlotte's won 6 in a row. Celtics have tonight off. They play Dallas at the Garden tomorrow evening. Bruins had last night off. They're in Nashville tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7:30 and the face-off at 8 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots yesterday informed Stephon Diggs they're going to release him next week. Kansas City traded all-pro cornerback Trent McDuffie to the Rams yesterday. Notre Dame coaching legend Lou Holtz passed away yesterday at the age of 89. Red Sox lost to the Yankees in Fort Myers 4-0. Garrett Crochet allowed 3 runs in 2 2/3 innings of work. And the World Baseball Classic underway. Australia beat Chinese Taipei today 3-0. Korea leads Czechia 11-3 in the 8th inning. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the DeMoore McKim School of Business at Northeastern University. Ready to take your career further? Join them for a week-long series of virtual info sessions to help you find the graduate program that truly moves you forward. Northeastern.edu/business bootcamp. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8 o'clock.
You were fine. The thing is you came on.
Yeah.
The thing we started the show, and I know you heard some of it. Is
I
you
did. I
not
had a couple
coming
of my
on.
buddies point me to. You need to listen to the hour before you came on. So I
Because it was
did
the
later
third
in the
week
day.
in a row you tried to bag out in some way.
Well, I mean, like, here's the thing, though. Like, after the season ends, like, tomorrow I'm taking my kids skiing. It's right before free agency,
Sure.
which is why I'm here
Right.
today. I like lose my weekends for 7 months.
Sure.
So the first few weeks after the season ends, it's like, okay, like, we're gonna do some stuff. So on some Fridays,
Bert, what's the most important ability? You covered all these coaches and GMs.
Availability.
Okay, there you go. Apply that to you.
I was available last week.
No,
kind of.
And that's why we say whatever you think was lacking in your appearance, we say you were here, and that's the most important thing.
I answered the bell.
Blast.
I mean, you can listen to the segment. I mean, we didn't say anything negative about you afterwards. I don't think so.
No.
No,
We
before
were
you
so
did.
thrilled to have you
before
on.
you did.
Before
Huh.
you guys were concerned.
Because Adam gets pissed off at you, like for real. And so
me and Adam have a good understanding.
We do, but there were a few weeks there where it was being made very difficult.
You know what would help, Bert, is if you just texted him back in a more timely manner.
I mean, I will
He's
say
been great
this.
about that the last couple of weeks.
I will. I have tried to address that, and I would say that, you know, the Super Bowl, obviously the time difference. There was
No. We understand the West Coast. That we understand things out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it was 3 weeks in a row, and that did not include the Super Bowl. I don't think. So whatever, it doesn't matter.
We're good.
Yeah, I mean, we're not expecting you to do a 3-hour time difference. I won't do a 3 hour.
It's just like at this time of year, like with some of this stuff, like I do, you know, like I'm gonna do some stuff with my family that I can't do for 7 months out of the year.
No one is questioning that you're a family man. No question about it.
I wanted to ask you about David Montgomery going to the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to be their featured back down there? We were having some discussion about that as to how he's going to be utilized and how you think he'll fit in.
Yeah, I think it's like I think it's going to be more of a platoon. They really like the rookie that they had last year, Woody Marks, and so the two of those guys, I think you like sort of see a setup a little bit like Detroit there, and you know I think a big piece of it is that the running back class in the draft, for the most part, sucks. And so they're looking ahead and they're saying, okay, like they plan on reworking their offensive line again. And they drafted Ariante Ursuri from Minnesota last year. He's their starting left tackle. And so they're going to use draft capital on the offensive line. They have.
Are they looking to just, you know, do what's right by their quarterback, or do you think they're having some second thoughts about the effectiveness of their
I think the way
quarterback?
they handle the quarterback contract negotiation is going to be telling. The 5th-year option is that decision's due this year.
Because 2 years ago, you're like, you got him. You're all set. You know,
I
you're
mean,
set for
I think
10 years,
one
baby.
thing that got everybody's attention internally in the league was that they signed Davis Mills to an extension in the season.
And then he spun into a ditch against the Patriots.
Yeah, but he
that
played
first half.
He played Davis Mills played. No. Davis Mills.
Oh, I was talking about Stroud.
Yeah,
but yes,
Davis Mills played, like, the fact that they signed him to an extension, it's like, oh, like, that's kind of interesting. So how they handle that is going to be interesting. Will Anderson, how much is he going to cost to re-sign? He's eligible for an extension. So the David Montgomery thing, I think, takes running back as a major need after the Joe Mixon thing happened last year off their plate. Because, again, like the running back class in the draft, the way most teams look at it is you got the 2 Notre Dame guys. Jeremiah Love's probably going to go in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jadarian Price, probably a 2nd or a 3rd round pick. And then it's like
bunch of dudes.
Maybe the 4th round before the next one goes. So that, like, it's one of those things where you want to try to go into the draft with a lot of needs addressed, especially needs that might be difficult to address based on the draft class.
Is there a chance that at the top of the draft, non-traditional positions go higher than normal? Like you mentioned, Love going in the top 10,
Yeah.
the safety out of Ohio State,
linebacker out of Ohio State. Yeah, like
Well, no, the safety out of Ohio State, and then
the
the middle
linebacker,
linebacker,
too.
Sonny
Yeah,
Styles.
yeah,
So, could those guys even be top 5 picks?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be the question. I used this comparison in my column last week. It's like I think teams are going to look at what the Lions did 3 years ago. And if you guys remember, they got crushed.
Oh, yeah.
For taking Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell,
right.
in the first round. Well, Jahmyr Gibbs has made 3 Pro Bowls, and Jack Campbell was first-team All-Pro this year. So, I think there is something to that. It's like just take the best player. And then their second-round picks were also sort of non-premium guys. There's a hybrid defensive back in Brian Branch and a tight end in Sam Laporta. That's 4 hits.
Yeah.
That's 4 really good players. And so, that Lions dynamic. And if you go back and you look, what's interesting is I went back and I looked at the guys who are drafted in the range that Campbell and Gibbs were taken. And, there isn't a lot of, you look at the premium position guys, a lot of them busted out, you know? So, a lot of them, you looked at it and it was, I'll give you some of the names here. It was edge rushers Lucas Van Ness and Will McDonald, tackle Broderick Jones, corners Emmanuel Forbes, Christian Gonzalez, and Deontay Banks, and then receivers Jackson Smith and Jigba, Quentin Johnston, and Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison. I'd say the only ones you would take over Gibbs of that group are probably Gonzalez and JSN, but the other ones you wouldn't,
Right.
So, that's the dynamic at the top of the draft is, do you take a really good safety in Caleb Downs, who might be the safest player in the draft? Do you take a freak athlete at middle linebacker in Sonny Styles? Do you take a running back in Jeremiah Love? Or are you married to taking a premium position where there is no Myles Garrett edge rusher, but there's David Bailey and Arvell Reese? There is no Julio Jones, A.J. Green, Calvin Johnson receiver, but there is Carnell Tate and Mekhi Lemon. That's sort of, I think it's going to be the question for the teams at the top of the draft. Once we get past Fernando Mendoza going first overall, it's going to be, all right, are you comfortable taking an off-ball linebacker or a safety or a running back when they're the best players in the draft, or would you rather compromise a little bit and take a guy at a premium position who may not be a premium prospect?
Would you take Reese or Bailey? What are you hearing?
I would take Reese because I think he's where the game is going. The thing is, Bailey is more plug and play. You know exactly what he's going to be in the pros. He's going to be, Nick Benito is the comp I've heard for him that I really liked. Just really athletic, active, hustles, tough, all of that. Reese is the Micah Parsons, Abdul Carter, where he played off-ball linebacker. He's not refined as an edge rusher yet, but he's a freak athlete. He, you have to have a plan for him, whereas David Bailey, exactly what sort of role he'll fit in. With Reese, I think you're going to have to be a little bit more creative to get the most out of him.
Because of the players available in this draft, do you think that would lead to more teams trading back or trying to facilitate trade backs? Because that, of course, that also requires someone willing to trade up.
That's the thing. Is what are you coming up for?
Yeah.
And that's the question. And what we Travis Hunter, that trade last year was an outlier. Generally, I looked back at this a few years ago, but there are not, I had the numbers, but there are not very many trades into the top 5 for anything but a quarterback. It's not common. There's Sammy Watkins, 12 years ago.
I'm just thinking later first round and even second round stuff. If it's that much of, there's not.
Here's the other
not
thing.
A ton to go after.
What you're going to see is a lot of teams looking to trade into next year.
Oh.
And because next year, there are a dozen quarterbacks. Now, all of them aren't going to make it, but there are probably a dozen quarterbacks that you can say right now, that guy's got a shot to go in the first round. And on top of that, I talked about those freakish prospects, right?
Yeah.
The freakish receiver, edge rusher, corner. You don't have that this year. Next year you will. So next year it's Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State at receiver, who's a Julio Jones type of prospect. You've got 2 edge rushers and Colin Simmons from Texas and Dylan Stewart from South Carolina, who maybe they're not Myles Garrett, but they're that type of prospect. And then you got Leonard Moore, the corner from Notre Dame, who's a Pat Surtain measurables type of corner. And so there are going to be teams that are looking at that and saying we can trade into next year with the thought that we're going to get a quarterback. That's why the Jets did that.
I know. That's why they asked for the 27th pick from the Cowboys.
What you see in scenarios like that, and this is kind of like an interesting big picture thing, is teams like the Eagles. This is where like Howie Roseman preys on. Like he preys on teams that have guys in charge that have job security issues. So if there are coaches out there, coaches, GMs that have job security issues where it's like, I don't care about next year. I'm just trying to get to next year. Like, give me that first round pick for this year, like what the Falcons did last year. Now the Rams preyed on that last year. Now the Rams have they traded 29 to get McDuffie. They still have 13 because they made that trade with Atlanta last year. So now like the Rams, without giving up their first round pick, they put themselves in a position by identifying a team where there was a job security question, and they went in and they took advantage of it. And now they had the flexibility to trade a late first round pick, their own pick, to get McDuffie, and they still have the 13th pick in the draft. And I think you're going to see some of that stuff happen this year with some of the teams, and maybe the Patriots are in a position to operate like that too.
Yeah.
As a team that like, all right, we have some job security here. Maybe we can do something smart that gives us some capital and what should be a better draft next year.
All right.
Which I'm sure would go over great at this radio station.
I'm just saying you wait all night for a pick and then they trade out. That's a Belichick thing to do. Yes.
I mean, the end of the first round is not that exciting. All right, Bert Breer, thank you so much.
All right,
MMQB, have fun up there in Maine. We will be back in just a moment with the news.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy. Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Well, the Charlotte Hornets were on the second night of a back-to-back and didn't get into Boston until after 4 a.m. yesterday morning. The Celtics, meanwhile, had everyone except Jason Tatum and were coming off a night off. None of that mattered. Hornets shredded the Green 118-89 at TD Garden, and that handed Joe Mazzulla his worst loss of the season.
You play against a team that is second in three-point attempts and shoots it at a 40% clip. You have to be able to control the margins a little bit better, and I thought they did a better job of that.
Jaylen Brown scored 20 points, but his team was never in the game after the first quarter. They have tonight off. They'll play Dallas at TD Garden tomorrow night. Bruins will be occupied this evening with the Predators in Nashville. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7:30 and the face-off at 8 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots have informed Stephon Diggs he will be released next week before a $6 million payment that was due a week from tomorrow. Garrett Crochet allowed 3 runs in 2 2/3 innings. Red Sox lost a preseason game to the Yankees 4-0 in Fort Myers. They visit Philadelphia and Clearwater, Florida today. And on day one of the World Baseball Classic, Australia has beaten Chinese Taipei 3-0. Korea just beat Czechia 11-4. The U.S. opens with Brazil tomorrow night in Houston. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Service Credit Union. They're teaming with Charlie McAvoy for 73 reasons to provide funding and health screens for first responders. Learn more at servicecu.org/73. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Are you actually coaching the game, or it's just that is? I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston talk sports here.
What do we got?
Sports.
Oh boy, I guess it's time for more Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
We interrupt this program for breaking news.
I can't use it.
Newsflash.
It's been a while, so we will do the news. Hi, we are Toucher and Hardy. Hello, it's good to hear from you. Is what you're saying in your cars or at your homes, or as you walk the streets, coming back from turning tricks all evening. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to us at 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. All right, Hardy, what do we have here today?
A case of a stolen artifact. You know how fun restaurants like Applebee's, TGI Fridays, they'll have all sorts of adornments on the walls, and you pick them up at rummage sales, various bric-a-brac, and just novelty items. Well, this particular bar had something that was not only made the bar famous, but was stolen.
And just very quickly, if I could ask the listeners, I was told that there is a documentary. I worked at Chili's, and it was fun. Everyone had sex with each other that worked there, but it was just a free for all orgy. No, but it was fun. Everyone was the same age. I've been told
same thing at Houlihan's, by the way.
Yes,
great, great job.
Get in the service industry in your early 20s, late teens.
Yeah.
So I'm told that there's this documentary about how Chili's kind of gets these people to indoctrinates them, and then they go from location to location, kind of spreading the gospel of Chili's and making sure that the bric-a-brac is all laid out in the correct way. That there is a method to the bric-a-brac that needs to be. So in the movie Office Space, where they're you don't have enough flair on.
Yeah.
Apparently that's a very real situation, and that there's these people that just Chili's is their religion, and then they go into these places to hype up the staff and get them in the Chili's attitude.
Are they paid employees by Chili's, or are they just enthusiasts who have taken it upon themselves to make this their life mission?
The way that it was presented to me is money at a certain point probably is not the main factor that they are involved in the Chili's brand.
Great. Love it.
A lot of companies do that. Amazon's got some weird way of ranking people. It's like Scientology. You're an A7, stuff like that. It's
Thetan, level 4.
Amazon has this weird ranking of people, and like people that work for Amazon will be like I'm a beef 6, and you'll be like, what the hell is that? All right, here we go.
So, yeah, we go to New Jersey for this.
So something really terrible happened to me yesterday. If you're watching this, please help me find this man.
Donkey's Place, a restaurant and bar in Camden, New Jersey.
This sounds like a hot shot broadcast right here.
Yeah, this is and again, we have some news stories today, and then we have some. Is this news? Well, it is under the guise of a news channel on some outlet, but yeah, we're using the term news very loosely these days.
It just makes me happy that at least network news still has an advantage production-wise.
Yeah.
Donkey's Place, a restaurant and bar in Camden, New Jersey, once helped finding an unusual...
Well, I went to Donkey's Place in Tijuana.
Yeah,
and
you
was
did.
a whole other thing, the Donkey Show.
Donkey's Place, a restaurant and bar in Camden, New Jersey, once helped finding an unusual but beloved artifact they've had for years.
These 3 guys that came in, they came in, I got their drinks for them. I thought they were really cool people, so I was like, you know what, like...
I had sex with them.
So I took them out back where we keep the milk crates and the empty kegs and, gave them a little something.
Yeah, they said that they were in the Electric Light Orchestra, and I figured, you know what? Why not?
They came in, I got their drinks for them. I thought they were really cool people, so I was like, you know what, like, I'm gonna grab some of our things from behind the bar, which is what we do, and see if they can guess what it is. So I handed them the walrus penis, and they thought it was hilarious. They were messing around with it. They were joking.
Let me mess around with this.
I know exactly what this is. This is a walrus penis.
If I had time, Wait, leave it. If I had a dime for every time I said, leave it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me mess around with it. Oh, no, we're going to have to clean up in aisle 6. No, leave it. I'll mess around with it. What are you doing? Just messing around with it? Plumbing issue? Nope. Give me some time to mess around with it.
They were taking pictures with it. So my back was turned. I wasn't really paying attention to what was going on, and I wasn't really worried about them.
The men ordered their car to leave.
Now it makes sense why, but the guy that stole it was hanging at the bar, probably just standing up against the bar with it hidden in between his legs. So he...
Well, or...
Do you think when people actually handle the walrus penis, they all do the same thing? You know, you take it and you do the same sight gags with it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a pretty hacky premise to begin with. Yeah, they hand you a penis. I don't understand why it's even funny. They just go, hey, here's a walrus penis, and you're like, hooray. I don't know really what you want me to do with this thing.
The walrus penis.
This is true. I wonder how many people pick it up and go cuckoo choo. But it is kind of a hacky gag, unless you're willing to go all the way with it and steal it by keystering it. Then.
But again, that's one of the sight gags you do with it. You hold it out, your buddy's turned around, you're like, hey, look what I'm doing to him.
Yeah, and then you take the
penis.
walrus penis out of the way and you confuse them.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't feel fossilized anymore. What's going on back there?
This got quite a bit smaller. It's a whole bait and switch.
The walrus penis.
Okay.
The bar, probably just standing up against the bar with it hidden in between his legs. So he waited until his Uber driver got here to basically go outside and take our prized possession.
She doesn't know a lot about the alleged suspects.
And they told me that they were like a tattoo artist from Ohio. And then the guy with him with like the real curly hair and the painted fingernails, he's actually from Los Angeles.
Well, they sound like funny boys to me. First of all, you're the guy with painted fingernails and then some guy with foppish curly hair. Oh, look at my luxurious curls. Ugh.
The walrus penis has been part of the bar for years.
So we basically just had it for forever.
Yeah, way to lose it, idiot. You had it forever, and it was everything, and now you lost it.
It's on loan from the Smithsonian. And, we were supposed to be taking care of this thing.
Yeah, now you've lost it, and you can beg for it back as much as you want, but I got news for you. Someone just threw it out a window of an Uber. Now you got to live with it, lady.
So we actually have 2 walrus penises. This is our second walrus penis. So we still have this one, but we are definitely looking to get his brother back.
For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Andrea Swindle.
Yeah. 2 walrus penises.
The walrus penis. Two walrus penises.
How big is a walrus penis? Let's Google.
Yeah.
All right. How big walrus penis? I don't think you need perfect English for this. 19 to 25 inches.
Whoa!
Hachi machi.
The walrus penis. The walrus penis.
It is impressive, this thing.
The walrus penis.
Some can measure 4.5 feet long. Boy, which is a dare, if you know what I'm saying. It's like the movie Zoo that was shown in real theaters about a very disturbed people. All right. Hardy, what is the next story? Oh, by the way, a walrus penis doesn't even look cool. It looks like a piece of ivory.
Yeah, it looks like a tusk.
Yeah,
more than
I mean,
anything.
a big deal, like a big deal.
For this, we go to my and your home state of Michigan, Fred, and a news anchor. When I saw this person pop up, I said, "Oh, I know exactly where this took place. It is in the city of the news station is in the city of Flint." Because the anchor happens to be the wife of my best friend Steve, who we went to the Lions game with. I said, oh dear, if this is in our Slack channel as a news story, poor Angie is having to report on something probably less than fortunate.
Well, first of all, it's good news that Steve can just lay back and just take that Lansing anchor money and live his life of leisure. Or Flint. I'm sorry, Flint. I didn't even know Flint had its own news stations.
It's a ABC-owned affiliate in Flint. But she's been there for a long time as the lead
So
anchor.
it's Hardy is saying, take it easy on Angie, which I understand.
Well, it's just, you won't want to get after her too much after she had to read the script on this one.
We do have an update for you tonight on last week's incident in Saginaw County where someone appeared to throw feces at the county government building.
So?
Yeah. So what, Square? Real four corners over here. I don't understand. Big deal. They'll stand out there yawning while they throw it. I'm awful tired.
We do have an update for you tonight on last week's incident in Saginaw County where someone appeared to throw feces at the county government building. A man has now been charged following this incident. The Saginaw
With being, what, cool? His name is Arthur Fonzarelli. He was accused of throwing feces. That was a Happy Days that only aired once. It was right at Fonzie. The original Jumping the Shark episode was Fonzie had to jump the shark because he had been throwing feces at the buildings in California.
And while some people viewed him as a vanguard, others thought it was public nuisance.
Yeah.
A man has now been charged following this incident. The Saginaw County Sheriff's Office says around 12:30 last Monday afternoon, Robert Brewer threw a 5-gallon.
Yeah, 12:30
in the afternoon. So he's got a Home Depot bucket.
5 gallons. Okay.
Waste not, one not.
Goodness.
He's been saving it.
Yeah. You act like we're not on Earth.
What do you do with yours? Flush it down?
Again.
God.
This is precious stuff. All right. Don't worry. I'm just going to mess around with it for a while. Keep it in a bucket. Don't ask why. You're safe.
Last Monday afternoon, Robert Brewer threw a 5-gallon piece of feces and other hazardous materials at the county building. Brewer was arrested on an unrelated felony warrant.
Well, they
didn't get him for that.
What are the other hazardous materials? Pee? I mean, what other fluids was he chucking? They kind of just tell her next time. Whatever other hazardous materials. You make a note.
Feces and other hazardous materials.
As colleagues, both in the news business, we can.
Who, what, why, where, when, what?
Yeah, and what did you guys do with it? Do you need a cleanup?
At the county building. Brewer was arrested on an unrelated felony warrant and lodged at the Saginaw County Jail. Detectives obtained a warrant and they searched Brewer's home and they found firearms and ammunition, which he was not allowed as a habitual offender. Brewer faces 7 charges tied to this incident, including unlawful possession of a harmful device.
What, poo? Again, mainstream America keeps picking on us. Poo collectors.
Lamestream media just reporting this as an actual criminal act.
Well,
how dare they?
The Feces Foundation is going to get involved, and when we do, we come out in big numbers. Who is the House Representative of Flint? I will get on that immediately.
I don't know if they get one anymore.
They got something. There's a lot of real losers. You ever see like the House of Representatives, and there'll be like some like halfwit inbred, and you're like, and then you realize they're from like some zip code that like has 5 people in it. They get it vote like everyone else. They're right in there.
Imagine that, boy.
And attempted malicious destruction of a building. He faces more than a decade behind bars and he's due back in court next Tuesday.
Big whoop. My taxpayer
Can
money.
I take my bucket with me?
Yeah, just why don't you arrest people for smoking and riding motorcycles? If you're going to arrest everyone who's cool. All right. You know what? Let's break here.
Okay.
Let's save the other news stories for a rainy day. She sounded good. I will tell you, in all, I would not have made fun of the anchor, regardless of her being your friend. She seemed like a real anchor.
She is.
No. I mean, but sometimes smaller cities, you got these crap anchors. She didn't sound that way. She sounded good. All right. We'll be back in just a moment with Gary Washburn.
Toucher and Hardy, those scamps. They'll be right.
of the Sports Hub.
They're playing really well. I mean, they got a lot of talented players out there. And
Badly at home to the Charlotte Hornets, who got that Knipple kid, who looks very good this year.
Yeah, they got a bunch of good. They got a bunch of young players that are very good. And last night's game was about as bad as I've seen the Celtics look in a game that they were trying. Like, they got blown out in Houston earlier this season, but it was like, I forget the circumstances, but they were resting guys, and it was kind of like a scheduled loss on the road. Last night, they had the rest advantage. They were at home. They were pretty much at full strength if you take Jason Tatum out of it, and they got overwhelmed. Charlotte absolutely crushed them. They had no chance after the first 6 minutes of the game. I can't remember the last time I saw the Celtics care about a game and get run over like that during the regular season.
What did you see what in your opinion was the problem? How did that end up happening?
Charlotte, well, I mean, not to get too like basketball nerd-like, but they were executing.
Go ahead, John.
They were executing better than the Celtics by about tenfold.
That is too in-depth. You got too nerdy with it.
What are you, execution?
They were that's essentially, that's a fancy way of saying they were playing better. Did they score more points too?
The wins over replacement was far better. No, the way they spaced the floor, the cross matching was very impressive. All of that, it was great.
I will
say
say this from my layman's eyes.
I see.
Very cold shooting for the Celtics.
Jaylen Brown missed a couple of real easy shots in close early.
Yeah.
And the other thing about it is there was always a Charlotte player. Like, Knipple made a couple of threes where he was wide open. You would think the scouting report, you look at that guy, say, don't leave that guy open on the perimeter. Somehow Charlotte managed to get him open more often than not.
It's a revolutionary offense being run in Charlotte. They're finding ways to Knipple free open shots. Gary Washburn is a national NBA writer for the Boston Globe. Gary Washburn, it's nice to talk to you. Hello.
Hey, guys, how's it going?
It's going well. That Knipple kid's pretty good, huh? Last night, it was the first time I saw him play pro basketball.
Yeah, I mean, I think the consensus is that Cooper Flag is the Rookie of the Year, but I don't know. I think it's going to be some split votes there because Knipple's just kind of a really mature, grown man. I mean, Charlotte needed an adult in the room. I mean, they just had a lot of just lawlessness in that organization with like the LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges situation.
What did Miles Bridges do? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. There's a list of that, but they just had kind of like some clowns in that organization who are now kind of maturing. But they needed an adult, so they could have probably got somebody, quote unquote, more athletic. But Knipple's just a grown man, and he's just so mature. And I was completely impressed. Like, considering his contribution to their winning, I think he's definitely up there with Flag in the Rookie of the Year race. I was totally impressed.
The other thing about Charlotte was Knipple didn't do it alone. I mean, there were a lot of guys who played really well last night, and I'm just wondering, why do you think Charlotte overwhelmed the Celtics? It's been a long time since it wasn't a scheduled, day off for a lot of guys. They just got crushed.
Yeah, and Charlotte was the one that was on the back-to-back, so I thought they'd be a little bit exhausted, but they're showing the signs of a mature team, and I think the Celtics came in and just thought, we got this. We're getting Jaylen and Kata back after the Milwaukee win. We'll be fine. This team's not going to play that well. And that team's won 10 straight road games. I mean, they've blown out Denver at Denver and Oklahoma City at Oklahoma. They did the same thing to Denver and Oklahoma City on the road. So I don't think the Celtics were just as sharp. I don't think they were as mentally focused. I think they thought this is going to be the old Charlotte. We'll get this win. We'll get Dallas, and then we'll head and try to prepare and get that game in Cleveland on Sunday afternoon. So I just think they got kind of undressed. They got caught off guard. And then Charlotte hit a lot of tough shots, and the Celtics missed a lot of layups. They were just awful, I mean, in terms of offensively. And their defense, Charlotte got anything it wanted. So I don't know what you do with this game. Do you just kind of, scrap it? I mean, they got blown out by the Knicks a couple weeks ago, and they bounced back really quickly. This team is susceptible to this at times. And you're kind of wondering, is this a team that can make a long playoff run, or can this happen 2 or 3 times in a playoff series?
Yeah, I mean the next one you understand, and I wasn't giving much credit to Charlotte going into this one, Gary, because I had lazily just looked at their win streak and said, they got wins over Indy and in Chicago, so what? But the other road wins that they had, I know they're supposed to be, in a rebuilding phase right now. Are they coming along a little quicker there with Charles Lee as the coach and Knippel and some of the other pieces that they have? Are they ahead of schedule in Charlotte?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it happened really fast. This team, they've won 17 of 21. I mean, this team was headed for the lottery. It was just another, dreary year in Charlotte. Then suddenly the light turned on, and all these guys started playing well together. And they it's about time. I mean, this team has stacked a bunch of lottery picks from Bridges to LaMelo Ball to Brandon Miller. Like they've just stacked first-round picks because they've been so freaking terrible. And it's about time. And then they got Cody White from the Bulls are just giving away guys. Obviously, they gave away Vucevic and Cody White. He blends perfectly because all he needs to do is score. I think it was too much responsibility on his plate in Chicago. In Charlotte, he just comes off the bench and shoots. So they're a team, as I've said, and people were saying, laughing, but might be a tough first-round playoff series for a team. They haven't accomplished anything, but they're going to be a challenge because they're so athletic and young. I think it should be a wake-up call to the Celtics. The last 20 games is going to be rough to get that number 2 seed. 2 against Oklahoma City. They still got San Antonio. They still got Cleveland. 2 against Atlanta. 2 more against Charlotte. Another game against the Knicks. They're not going to coast to this number 2 seed.
Do you think that guys like Baylor Shireman and Ugo Gonzalez are going to be able to hold up when it comes down to these big games down the stretch, or have they been doing it with smoke and mirrors?
Well, I think you hope so if you're the Celtics, because that's pretty much all you got, because you got guys like, Jordan Walsh, backing them up. I think the whole thing is if Tatum returns, and I think he will, it kind of, gives everyone a different role, a little bit of a lesser role. I don't think the problem has been or was last night Shireman or Ugo Gonzalez. I think they, played. I think it was Keita. I think getting 2 points, 2 rebounds. Keita didn't show up. Jalen missed a lot of layups. Vucevic was not good at all. So it was the veterans. It wasn't them young guys. I don't blame them. They're going to play hard. They're not depending on Shireman or Ugo to score. They're depending on them to defend and get rebounds. That's what they've done. That's energy stuff. That's fine. They'll be fine. The concern is what they get out of Vucevic. The concern is Keita being more consistent after a 27-17 game, kind of responding last night and just not even being there. That's the concern.
You brought it up, Jason Tatum. You knew we were going to ask you about it. I thought he was going to be back last night. A lot of people thought last weekend. I still think it's going to be this week, and they have the home game tomorrow night. What is your opinion?
I mean, I think if it's not Friday, it's the 3-game homestand when they return home. I think it's like Washington, Phoenix, and Golden State. If he wants to give himself extra time, there's this kind of buildup that it could be tomorrow. I think we'll find out what he's listed later this afternoon when the Celtics distribute the injury report. But I think it's close. I think the whole concept of him I don't think you release all these damn rehab videos and then say, okay, guys, see you in October. Well,
have you been watching the documentary?
I watched bits and pieces.
Whoa! You're not interested in a self-promoting propaganda piece based on the person making it?
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you're suffering any fatigue from this, Gary, but something tells me you don't suffer this foolishness at all, much less getting fatigued by it.
If that's Jason's choice to want to promote a video and have this kind of his rehab, I get it.
Okay, can I stop you?
He's a marketing guy. He wants to sell his brand. That's kind of today's athlete.
Okay.
I get it. I don't mean to have to watch every minute.
Okay.
But if NBC approached him and said, hey, and I guess, that's okay.
Okay. So I'm glad you brought that up because I've heard this argument before. That this is the way players are now, not just players, this is the way society is now and that media is now. There is still shame. And that would be I am going to produce something about myself, going through something, and then releasing it about myself while I'm still doing the thing. That's just like, kind of corny. Like that, you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter if this is 20 years from now or 100 years ago. Like writing your own mythology is a little bit. I find distasteful. That's all. I don't think it makes him a bad person. I just think that it's corny, basically.
Yeah, like let's say doing a whole TV show 15, 16 years ago about where you're going to sign your next free agent contract like LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that these guys just feel like they're their own brands. I'm sure Jason's a very astute in terms of his choices of what to sponsor. Obviously he's on a lot of commercials. This is what he does. And so I think this is kind of his, and I'm sure someone approached him with the opportunity, hey, this is a painful time, but you can maybe inspire people. You can give us your story. You can bring us inside, and people would like that. And maybe he was like, you know what? Yeah, that's what I'll do. Like, obviously, we've all seen athletes do worse. We've all seen him.
Yeah, he's not like a bad person.
No, exactly.
Exactly. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
No, you're not saying
like
that.
Documenting your own.
I think folks are a little hard on Jason, but Jason's a marketing guy. He's a current, very much a current athlete. He did the starting five. So did Jalen. He's a guy who likes letting people kind of inside his life. And you know what? I guess as long as it doesn't distract anything he does on the floor, his work ethic is still 100%. So, I ain't gonna sit there and watch every hour like this, talking to his rehab and the process. I assume it's just like everyone else's. It's probably a little bit different. Getting the surgery, some of the techniques he's used. But I'm sure there are fans who are actually interested in that, I guess.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, I completely understand that how the injury would be devastating. People have been giving him a hard time about that. I mean, I understand when you rupture your Achilles, you're a professional athlete, that's devastating. You're losing a year of your career. That I all understand. It's just, and if someone approached him and said, hey, we're going to make this, and he's not producing it, then that would be one thing. But I don't know. It's just that self-mythologizing. I don't know if that's ever been cool.
I mean, okay, so we're at game 4. It happens, and then there's a camera in the surge. Like someone right away thought of this.
Yeah.
Decided to document this. And I don't know if that was Jason. I don't think Jason being carried to the locker room was like, hey, get this on camera, guys.
Right.
Like, I don't, somebody made a decision really quick to, because this is not something he was like something he was diagnosed with, and he's returning from a illness or something like that. This was like somebody made a decision real fast to put everything on camera, but these guys have teams now of camera people and
they've seen it. Jaylen Brown walks around with quite an entourage. That's how MC Hammer lost his money. Too big an entourage.
50, 80 people on the road,
right?
Doing it with their hammer pants on. So so, as much as I think for us guys, it could be viewed as distasteful or arrogant. For maybe this current generation, they're good with it.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like this new generation. Then, all right, Gary Washburn, we always appreciate you. He is the authority on the NBA in the Boston Globe. We read him every day. I'm sure all of us read him every day. We like Gary very much. Gary, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
There you go.
Yeah. That is interesting. Like, I hadn't thought about it from that aspect, but immediately there was like really good footage of stuff happening post-injury, and in the immediate aftermath, a decision was made, not necessarily by Tatum, but someone on his team. It's like, opportunity. Okay, let's make some lemonade here, guys.
Not sure I like that all
Let's
that
start
much.
putting together, this is going to turn into a whole thing.
Yeah, and, I think that I also question people's interest in it. I mean, Gary Washburn hasn't even watched all of it, and he covers the Celtics.
That's the thing. And these aren't.
Have you watched all of it?
No.
Okay.
I haven't.
You haven't? So,
no.
Well, if John and Gary haven't watched all of it,
who's watching this?
Yeah, that's sort of my point, too, is that it's not overly interesting. You know, if you're involved in something like super unique and there's like all these elements and this level of danger and uncertainty and all this stuff, you know, you kind of have to pick and choose. And I really do push back on it being generational because, I mean, I know I've read stuff about people in the 50s that they would clown on for, you know, self-aggrandizing. I mean, everyone made fun of Elvis when they were put in, you know, he was doing his own thing, like Elvis is in a helicopter, like right now, like when they would be bringing him on stage, like people thought that was corny. The notion that this is somehow like new media is just something that I push back against. That's not what I'm talking about. Not making a documentary. It's about actively making a documentary about something not particularly interesting while you're going through it, then releasing it as some grand thing when you eventually come back in real time.
Yeah, like Gary, I've seen bits and pieces. I think I saw the first one all the way through, all 5 minutes of it. But the bottom line is, this is not a new story. This isn't something that's never been done before.
Yeah.
There are dozens of athletes that have suffered not only this injury, but catastrophic injuries in general, that you see videos of them working out and all this.
Well, they come back, yeah.
This isn't any different than that, and all of them are healthy and were able to continue on. Same thing with Tatum. So I'm having a hard time saying, okay, I have to watch this because this is a story that's never been told before. It's been told dozens of times over.
Plus, we're watching the Celtics. At least John is. All right, we'll be back in just a moment to hear the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Charlotte Hornets came to Boston and blew out the Celtics at TD Garden last night, 118-89. Celtics have tonight off. They host Dallas tomorrow night. Bruins in action tonight in Nashville. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7:30 and the face-off at 8 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots made some big news. They've informed Stephon Diggs he will be released next week. Garrett Crochet hit for 3 runs in 2 2/3 innings. Red Sox lost to the Yankees in Fort Myers yesterday 4-0. They visit Philadelphia today. And today, day 1 of the World Baseball Classic. It took place at the Tokyo Dome. 2 games. Australia beat Chinese Taipei 3-0. Korea has beaten Czechia this morning 11-4. The U.S.'s first game is tomorrow night in Houston against Brazil. Sports Hub headlines are powered by AAA Work Trucks in Billerica. Be a pro on the road this winter with new equipment on your work truck or van. They'll take the work out of your next work truck. Visit AAAWorkTrucks.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
When your heater hot water goes out, waiting isn't an option. Super Service today is fully stocked with water heaters, furnaces, boilers, and heat pumps. Ready for same-day replacement, day or night, and always done right. Call Super Service today.
Call superservicetoday.com. The BMF Championship, truly the stuff of legends. To let the world know who's the baddest mother. That's a real warrior. That's a BMF.
Saturday, March 7th on Paramount Plus.
Here we go.
2 legends.
2 of the most exciting men to ever fight will meet again. I'm right here. Let's go.
1 legacy.
The famed BMF belt is on the line. Legends never die.
Max Holloway, Charles Oliveira.
Welcome to the history books.
For the BMF title, Saturday, March 7th at 9 on Paramount Plus.
Anytime, any day. It's a great time to clean it your way. Anytime's a good time to be Scrub-A-Dub clean.
Scrub-A-Dub's unlimited car wash plan lets you wash anytime for one low monthly price. Wash every day or every week. Your car will always be Scrub-A-Dub clean.
Anytime, anytime's a good time to be Scrub-A-Dub clean.
When you're on the go, count on Mass General Brigham Health Plan with 24/7 support, helpful digital tools, and world-class providers. We offer coverage for individuals, families, employers, and retirees, all connected to one of the world's leading healthcare systems. Whether you're playing pickleball in Boston Seaport or hiking with your dog up Mount Wachusett, you can be free to live in your moment. Learn more at massgeneralbrighamhealthplan.org.
With the rising costs of household expenses, every dollar counts.
We're Toucher and Hardy. The Patriots obviously need a wide receiver or two or whatever. And picking at the end of the first round, and at one point it seemed like the USC receiver Mekhi Lemon would be completely out of reach. He was a big high school recruit, 3 years at USC. Everything physically that you would want from a receiver. And then came the scouting combine. Did he run slow? No. He was terrible in interviews. One report, the reporter says, I talked to a scout just now, said he didn't know what Mekhi Lemon's motive was behind his combine interviews, but whoever advised the kid needs to be fired. Absolutely bombed it. That's word for word. Another writer put, great player, that a coach told him. Great player, horrible attitude, what a disaster. And then there was him performing drills, and there's a Patriots connection here. Do you know who Todd Downing is? Anybody?
Is he friends with Fickle?
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, you know who Fickle is.
When Burt was pulling that, Hachi Manchi. No one knows.
Downing is an assistant coach for the Patriots.
He's wide receivers coach. There is a video circulating on social media, as things do, that Todd Downing is explaining a drill in the combine to participants. Lemon appears separated from the group and not fully engaged in the instructions. Later in the clip, Lemon misses a pass after failing to look up for the ball, seemingly because he did not follow the coaching points being explained moments earlier. This is another writer says, Mekhi Lemon didn't test, but man, he looked smooth throughout the drills in Gauntlet. His acceleration was top-notch. He stayed straight down the line despite one drop in the Gauntlet, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, he apparently struggled in these interviews, and here was his press conference. I'll play a little bit of it. But you're not getting the visual, which is him. I honestly wonder if he was messed up. I honestly wonder if he was like kind of on, if he was high or something. Because he's looking at people like all bug-eyed and like staring people down and stuff. And it's not only, it's just so odd that I do wonder a possible explanation, which I would give him a pass for almost, and say, well, this can be helped. I'd almost rather him have been messed up on a drug, because then you could go, okay, kid's got a drug problem. We'll work with him on the drug problem.
Sure.
I'm not kidding. If this is something that's just the way he is, there's no solution. I think you can follow what I'm saying. If there's a solution to the behavior, that's pretty cut and dry.
But if his default mode of behavior is that of like trying to look like a stalking cheetah behind the bars of a cage, like back and forth, like sizing everyone up,
people act weird when they're on drugs, and then when they're not on drugs, conceivably they will act much more normal.
Yeah.
So then I know if I do A, the result will be B. If they're just this way, then we're talking a lot of we're very behind as a society on mental health and how to treat it. It's almost in the dark ages. I'm not confident we can work with this.
Probably say Caleb Williams would be cool, former teammate.
Yeah, they're asking quarterbacks that he'd want to play with.
Probably go Aaron Rodgers would be cool. He a GOAT. He a legend. One more. I'll go Jaden Daniels. Probably my fearlessness and my unwavering, ability. Just to never back down. If things don't go right in a row, I ain't never gonna back down, tuck my tail. I'm a problem solver. I'm finna get through it.
Yeah, it doesn't really sound that bad, but he's like staring people down and weaving back and forth, and it's he sounds. I mean, if you play that, he doesn't sound different than anyone else. But if he's, when Ryan and I talked about it, and we did decide before this is why I read all that stuff, is that you really do need the visual, because this does not do it justice. Someone asked him about if he want to play with Garrett Wilson, which is obviously the clip I saw first. And he's like bug-eyed and like staring at the guy and like waving back and forth. Like, yeah, pretty weird.
Look at Adam Gase. That's
Yes.
what I thought.
Yeah, like a little Adam Gase.
Yes. But Adam Gase had the look of a wide-eyed innocent tripping for the first time.
Yeah, well, or maybe the 100th time. I'll tell you, 3 teams have told a reporter they've taken him off the board.
Oh, God.
Which is, the reporter is saying 3 teams have told us they've taken him completely off the board. So we have a minute or two. This kid is a top 15 talent. If he falls to 31, which seems entirely possible.
Yeah.
This is a coach that, handles guys. I mean, Tomlin was a guy that could, except for Pickens, could, get guys in line. Antonio Brown completely lost his mind after he left. Is Vrabel that kind of guy? And if there's an elite talent as this draft goes, this isn't Calvin Johnson, but he's, could be a number 1 receiver for an NFL team, and he falls to you, which would not happen short of him doing this.
Yes.
Would you take him at 31?
Yes. I think that's the potential for him to be a number 1 in this offense. I won't pretend to know all the ins and outs of him, but based on what you're talking about.
No, just go based on what I'm telling you.
Yes, I think the Patriots would take him. I think that Mike Vrabel and Elliott Wolf would trust the program that is in place and the leadership.
It's just such a fragile thing, and May's still so young.
Yep.
And then you bring some disaster in. That's my.
Plus, selfishly, we'd have material for weeks.
We'd have.
Some days,
It'd
he's
be
getting
awesome.
on my butt.
Wait, what?
Some days, he's getting on my butt.
I like that.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I mean, listen, we all have friends.
The sucking the air through the teeth thing. I need to do a deep dive on this because I
Talk
see
to
it.
my dad.
I see it a lot in British gangster shows. Watch Top Boy, stuff like that. Watch.
I've seen Top Boy 1, Top Boy 2. I've seen them all.
Okay,
he's like the alpha, Top Boy.
It's that.
I'm making a gay joke. Gay porn. Top Boy. Okay. Go ahead. Thank you, TT boy. You got it. It wasn't a very good joke. Go ahead. When you have to explain the joke, obviously didn't land. Yeah. Go ahead. Proceed.
The sucking the air through the teeth is like a British gangster thing. I don't quite know what it's about, but it sounds like he's trying to affect that a little bit with the.
Oh, yeah, I don't care for that. My dad, a big fan of driving and sucking his teeth.
Ooh.
Yeah, big fan.
What does it sound like?
I don't even want to do it because I don't want to start doing it, but it's like.
Yeah, it's not that. It's more of affectation when you're thinking about something.
Okay, yeah. That's almost bad acting. That's like a spit take. That's like the equivalent of a spit take.
But it must be a thing because you see it in these different shows, and all the tough kids do it. The sucking the air through the teeth.
It was like act like you're thinking. Okay. All right. We will be back. Adam has fashioned a quiz.
This is John's quiz. I'm just talking.
Oh, it's not going to be very good.
Oh, come on.
No, it's going to be a failure.
We're teaming up.
If you want to hear John fail, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Is
kidding.
John going to quiz
kidding.
us?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, boy. We'll see what our boy Johnny came up with. No, we'll see that in just a moment. It should be fun.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sport.
118-89. It's their worst loss of the season. Con-Knipple, 20 points for the winners. Charlotte never trailed in this game. Celtics have tonight off. They'll play Dallas at TD Garden tomorrow night. Bruins had last night off. They play in Nashville against the Predators tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7:30 and the face-off at 8 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots have informed Stephon Diggs they will release him next week. The move will save them over $16 million against the cap. Kansas City traded all-pro cornerback Trent McDuffie to the Rams yesterday in exchange for first, fifth, and sixth round draft picks this year and a third rounder in 2027. Notre Dame coaching legend Lou Holtz passed away yesterday. He was 89 years old. Red Sox travel to Clearwater, Florida to play Philadelphia today. They lost to the Yankees in Fort Myers yesterday 4-0. And the World Baseball Classic, day one is done. Australia beat Chinese Taipei 3-0. Korea beat Czechia 11-4. The U.S. opens with Brazil in Houston tomorrow night. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Avidia Bank, the Metro West best bank. Work with a community bank that goes above and beyond for their customers and their community. Honest to goodness. Member FDIC, member DIF. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Boston Talk Sports.
Trade break May. We all know what, but we won't say what. Yeah, worst take on these airwaves in the last 24 hours.
We may not take a call today.
The Sports. What's the best way to listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Yeah, party people. Here we go.
Oh, I thought this was going to be a hoe fight. I got very excited.
We'll make you dance around again. Get that in the system. Get that in the rotation.
Oh, you play any Miami bass.
Yeah.
The world goes crazy. So I've been, we are Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on, well, I like that corny ding that just happened. Anyway, so we're going to do the email segment coming up if you want to send in your emails. Again, Blind Scott slowed down, but he has not stopped completely. I was just looking at those. I am, before we get to the game that John and Adam put together, I am now watching these videos. They're very well done, but it will be the Billboard Top 100 of 1 year. And we've discussed this before, and I have told you that I don't know how they did that, how they Billboard, and none of us do, and three of us worked in music radio for a long time, which people use to insult us constantly, so I take it you guys know that. And because like there will be a song that you heard 1 trillion times that played on MTV 1 billion times, and then it will be like 80th, but then in the top 10 there'll be a song that I've never heard of. Now I don't doubt, and especially in that era, John, that style of music you were in the early 90s is awful. Oh my God, is it bad? Like the hair metal was better. Like, so there are these songs from these artists that I've never heard of. Like, I know Keith Sweat. I mean,
right.
I know a lot about music.
Right.
New
Like
Jack Swing we're talking about.
No. New Jack Swing was fine.
Well, like the R&B.
Yes, the terrible R&B. A very bad genre of music at that time. Holy moly.
Jodeci? You didn't like Jodeci at all?
No. I mean, sparse electronic beats.
Yeah.
With just horrific emotional caterwauling over it. It is just terrible. And I can, like, my kids' stuff that they listen to, except the country crap that my son listens to, which is just awful, and we've explored that. But, like, I understand things metamorphosize and that there are subcultures of music or subsets of music that I'm not going to be into, and I can understand it as a art form. No. And they play it at that Title City barbershop in Newton. They play that stuff, and I get my hair cut. I'm like, who's listening to this garbage?
It might be a Title City thing. I have one in Natick.
Oh,
Same thing.
Yeah, they got some kind of playlist. It's awful.
Yeah.
Like, now, when I used to go to the place in Mr. Sid's, they would play like 70s R&B or 80s R&B, and that's good. It's like kind of funky instrumentation. We're talking like, let me shut the door.
Yeah.
Yeah,
please. Thank you.
But those songs sounded like they took as long to write and record as the song is long. Like
Yes,
you just hit play on a very simple drum loop. You do a very simple keyboard pattern over and over again, and yeah, like you said, Fred, like the over emoting and the vocals, and it's just wow, one take, that's it, we got it done.
So, like, you know, when Mariah Carey, and this will be in the end of this, when she goes like that, and she gets her voice. Like, in all those ranges,
yeah.
That's impressive. That's like a Eddie Van Halen solo. These guys are like, nothing overly adventurous. Anyway, as we know, I spent my childhood watching television, and Hardy watched TV too. Maybe not to the extent that I did. I was an only child. I was raised in front of the television. We've explored this over the last 20 years that I have an unbelievable knowledge of sitcoms. But this is where it gets interesting, John. What is this game?
We have the top 20 television shows from this week in 1983.
Okay.
Now, there are sitcoms in here. There are soap operas in here. There are dramas in here.
Like nighttime soap.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so here's the
Nighttime
deal.
dramas.
I was 8 in 83, so you were 11?
11, yeah.
So still very young, but in 83, I knew. Now, this is a year off my big year, which was when I was 9, when I really...
That's when you peaked.
That's when I, peaked physically, mentally.
Yeah.
But that's when the Cosby Show, that's when NBC had that Thursday night that got me all locked in.
We're not quite there yet. We're not quite there yet.
And I'll tell you, the later seasons of the Cosby Show, perfection.
When Pam joined the show at the end?
When they just keep adding useless, non-funny characters, it's the
Let's
best.
bring in Alvin. I like more Alvin.
Well, Alvin was even earlier than that. I bet you can't even remember who they brought in. They brought in a real collection of idiots. All right, anyway, let's get to the game.
Yes, for most of these, I'm going to play the theme, and you're going to have to recognize it from the theme. But there's a handful that the theme would give it away too quickly, so John will give you clues on those.
Okay, so let's start. Now, these aren't part of the quiz. Number 20, Heart to Heart. Number 18, Magnum P.I.
I would have got a Magnum P.I.
Yes, you would have.
Yeah.
This is number 17.
Oh, I got it.
Please.
Go
One
ahead.
day at a time.
Very easy.
That was in the
So
top
whoop
20?
on your feet.
Yes, it
whoop
was.
on your feet. It's a new
People are
day
like, they were so
coming.
into Valerie Bertinelli. Like,
Yes.
in that Van Halen book, it's like
Yes.
everyone loved Valerie Bertinelli.
Yes, they
Why?
did. Because she was hot.
Eddie Van Halen saw enough in her. Married her.
No.
No?
Schneider. He was a cut up.
Yeah.
No, he would wear that tool belt. That's why you liked it so much.
Yeah, and the cigarettes rolled up in his sleeve.
Yeah, well, I still do that. Okay.
CBS.
Except for with Zins.
One day at a time on CBS. CBS dominates the top 20
Yes,
here,
I was
by the
aware
way.
of that. Don't tell me things I already
All
know.
right, sorry.
I know.
I
I know.
Here is a weekend drama, very popular.
Oh, this is easy. Come on. Go ahead, Fred.
Obviously, it's the Love Boat.
It is the Love Boat. It is the Love Boat. Coming in at number 15.
Again, it shows the collective IQ of everyone.
Love Boat and Fantasy Island on back-to-back. That was the ABC, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was ABC.
Even when I was 8, I thought that was sad. Those two shows being on. It was just sad. All right, go ahead.
All right, second highest NBC show on this list comes in at number 14. 4 ex-military guys blackballed.
18. I mean,
Yeah.
it should be in how many seconds can we do it? And,
Yeah,
and
no
then you would
kidding.
have to get into tenths of a second.
Very impressive.
I think it's going to get a little more difficult
As we go higher in the ratings,
believe
my
it or not,
goodness.
believe it or not, this list has a little bit of stuff in there that I think is going to be a challenge to you, Fred, but maybe Hardy will be able to save you on a few of these.
Interesting. I'd like to see that. Okay, let's move up to number 13. I'm not aware of this show.
Sorry. I screwed up. It's
Way
the
to
wrong
go,
clip.
12.
Bad job by me.
Oh, my God.
All right, move on to the next one.
12, what are you doing?
Sorry.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
We let John take control.
I don't know.
It's a real
That's
disaster.
not on John.
right.
That was on me.
Number.
So you say.
All right.
If Hardy did the game, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I know. I know.
You suck.
Number 12 has a star who also starred in another very popular show before this one. Here's number 12.
Well, I'm not the kind.
Oh, Fall Guys.
Yep. Wow. Very good, Fred. I didn't watch this. No, this was the Lee Majors vehicle.
Yes.
Yeah, and it had the non-Heather Locklear. It had Heather Thomas, who was hotter than Heather Locklear. But she never got as famous. Heather Locklear. I have a lot of trouble saying that. All right, go ahead.
Okay, this is the top-ranked NBC show. It was on later at night.
Oh, it's about 9/11. They predicted it.
Hill Street
Hill
Blues.
Street Blues.
There you go.
Which is not a bad show.
Which NYPD Blue star was on
Dennis
Hill Street
Franz.
Blues? That's right. Dennis Franz came on at the end of the
That's
Hill
actually
Street
kinda good.
Blues run. Actually, there was a spin-off of his character from Hill Street Blues that lasted one season.
Play the part you just played. Can you do that? Can you go back?
Not on this one.
Oh, because there was that era of kind of sad theme, instrumental theme that it hits you. All right, very good.
That was number 11. Number 10, we just talked about this show.
Is this Dynasty or Falcon Crest?
Nope.
Oh, Fantasy Island.
There you go.
That was a hit?
Yes.
Fantasy Island?
Big hit.
Yeah.
Big hit. Saturday nights,
like
10
that
o'clock.
little guy.
Which, okay,
Hervé
so,
Villachez.
He killed himself.
so Love Boat led into Fantasy because it was
Yeah, that's
TJ
correct.
Hooker, Love Boat, Fantasy Island.
Love Boat at 9, Fantasy Island at 10 on Saturday nights.
I guess it makes sense. But isn't that
Or
interesting?
did TJ Hooker have Heather Thomas? No, they had Heather Locklear.
TJ Hooker had Heather Locklear.
Heather
yeah.
Thomas. If you look, Heather Locklear or Heather Thomas better looking. Go ahead.
At number 9, there is a show connection to this one. It is a spinoff of a legendary program. Can you name? This is one of those audio. My clue to you before we play the theme.
Mork and Mindy.
No, that's too late for Mork
connection
and Mindy.
to this show.
A connection to this show?
Yes.
Well, now that's just confusing more than anything. This is not a test of knowledge. It's just a test of being able to decipher your clue.
It is a spinoff of a legendary television show.
It is the Jeffersons.
There it is. There we go. Done.
Jeffersons is a
Yeah, I get it. Of All in the Family, kind of. All right. Bad clue. Go ahead.
Okay.
I thought it was a great clue, John. Well done.
Thank you. Well, no, we're working as a team, so I'm glad you got it right.
Now we're in the CBS portion of this.
Yeah, happy days.
Number 8.
Oh, I know this. Simon and Simon. Baby.
There you go.
Well, you watched everything.
Don't worry, you're a pretty little head about it.
That's impressive. I wouldn't have gotten this at all. That's really good.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
You watched Simon and Simon?
I knocked it around a little bit. He married Delta Burke when she was hot.
This was an hour-long what?
It was like kind of like a
comedy
buddy
drama,
like a comedy drama,
dramedy.
A dramedy, as they say now. Yes.
Okay.
All
All right, we move up to number 7. We can't give you the theme song right away.
How about
because
we
you
just
get
do
that.
the ones with theme songs? That would be
all
nice.
right. We'll skip. All right, Three's Company would have been number 7. Here now we're into the nighttime soap opera portion of this. Here's number 6.
Dynasty.
There you go. Nicely done.
I never watched Dynasty.
No, but who can forget the theme song?
If I was an adolescent when it was on, I would have masturbated to it, no question.
So who were the good-looking women on Dynasty? Was
the blonde? Well, Collins was on
Joan
that.
Collins?
I could have masturbated to her, but maybe Falcon Crest. I could have masturbated. Anyway, I would have masturbated to it. Let's just say that.
Okay, that is the top-ranked ABC show.
Well, thank you, because the networks are throwing me off.
Oh, the top 5 are all CBS, which is why I brought that up.
Which is why the CBS scene was such a hit restaurant.
Linda Evans.
Yeah, that's when I look back. If I was
There
old
you
enough,
go.
I would have certainly masturbated. Go ahead.
All right, number 5.
This feels like Falcon Crest.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
There it is.
Because I was going to say it's that or it's the one we were just talking about.
Yeah, which I never watched this.
Yeah, I never watched Falcon
Dynasty, I could name you a couple of actors from, didn't watch it. Falcon Crest, I have no idea.
Number 4 is responsible for one of the greatest cliffhangers in TV history.
Dallas.
He didn't have to give the clue.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
All right,
What do we got in that anyway?
Number 3 is 60 Minutes. Top 2. Here is number 2.
I know it.
early to bed.
This is kind of a good song, so let rock.
And in between, I cooked and cleaned and went out of my head. Going through life with blinders on, it's tough to see. I had to get up, get out from under and love
Listen, it gets good.
for me.
There's a new girl in town, and she's looking good. Then she goes, got to smile for the neighborhood. Forget it. It's, of course, Alice.
Mm-hmm.
That was number 2, huh?
That was number 2.
Everyone was lobotomized.
With
in
a rating
1983.
of over 30.
Jesus. Who played Alice? What was her name?
On the Brady Bunch? No, I don't know. She sang the theme.
All I know is Vic Tayback.
Linda Lavin.
I wouldn't know
The
that.
diner.
I know this. I know the theme songs, not the actors.
The diner they worked in was based where? What town? What city?
Phoenix.
There you go. Nicely done.
Yeah.
So that
I'm not
that had a rating of 30. The number 1 show had a rating of 60 that week. One of the most watched finales of any series.
MASH.
Okay. All right. MASH was terrible. I know. I just like the Suicide is Painless. All right. Well, I think that we did an excellent job.
You did?
Yeah.
If you ask me anything in the 80s TV, you give me 2 notes.
Seriously.
3 notes.
Hardy got his share.
No, he got the Falcon Crest.
And I got MASH very quickly.
Yeah. I think we both would have got a match. But Falcon Crest, I'm not sure if that's the one I would have pulled up.
Hey, we were working as a team.
Well, I had to tell you that because you were getting competitive, and I had to tell you we were working.
I didn't even keep score. Look.
You should have gotten. You should have given me a lot of points for Simon and Simon.
Yeah, you do. You get
Yeah, that
serious
was
points
impressive.
for
That's the
Simon
one
and
on the
Simon.
list I
That's
thought
really good.
neither of
Being
you
able
was
to
gonna get.
sing along to the Alice theme song was pretty impressive, too.
I actually enjoy the theme to Alice. How about that? I actually think it's a good song. I do.
There's a handful of good songs that I mean, the Welcome Back Kotter song, that was a hit.
He played it on Saturday Night Live,
Yeah.
and it was electric.
Yeah.
Big documentary out about one of the first musical, one of the 2 first musical guests on Saturday Night Live.
John Sebastian, is that right?
This is John Sebastian, but the guy that played
Dr. John.
This should help what I'm doing with my hands. He played with the Beatles, the black guy that played with the Beatles.
Billy Preston?
Yeah, I guess he was gay and closeted.
Will it go round in circles? That's Billy Preston?
Yeah, he
I'm
played
surprised
his
John
big hit
knows
on
anything
Saturday
about him.
I know, since you won't watch Heated Rivalry, who they thought should leave.
Multiple reasons John would just avoid Billy Preston.
I loved Welcome Back, Kotter when I was a kid, and so I bought it. Digitally, and I watched 5 minutes of it, and I went, oof. What did I like about this? Yeah, I wonder if Randy Newman was an influence on that guy.
Yeah.
All right, we will be back with your emails in just a moment.
Toucher and
it's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
It is a great idea. And what's another great idea is getting Jeffrey Glassman injury lawyers. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email, stupid. Call all sevens at 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com. I'll start with this, even though it's kind of piggybacking the last segment, but it is worthy of discussion, a discussion that we had off air after the show. Hey, guys, hate to bring up something from 2 days ago, as it's ancient history by now, but the most glaring omission from Tuesday's ranking of Jerry's girlfriends, we were talking about Jerry's girlfriends, which we did look up after the show in our post-show meeting. We did have a discussion about that among ourselves because Hardy's pick made me audibly laugh because he was being serious and I couldn't remember the episode, and now I know why, because picking her as the hottest it was very on brand and very funny.
Pam?
Yeah.
Pam?
Yeah, still.
Pam.
I don't really remember the episode. I certainly don't remember.
I even like the name, Pam.
I remember the woman, but nonetheless. The most glaring omission from Tuesday's ranking of Jerry's girlfriends is Tia, the Calvin Klein model from the pick. Now, we did, after reviewing the tape, did find her and go, indeed. I still go with Lois from the race episode. I still think she had almost a very unique, striking brand of beauty. A brunette with with a bob cut, just a beautiful face. Also, special shout out to Tawny Katane in the nose job episode. That's first season or second season, and he's playing chess with himself.
Oh, not good. Not good.
No, it's not a good episode. As also a side note, love the show, love you guys. Way off on the last 2 seasons on Seinfeld that they're on par with the first 7. The grounded in reality humor Larry David brought to seasons 1 to 7, which makes the show. I disagree. I think the show was. I like when on shows as they go on and on, the characters get more outrageous.
I'm telling you, man, just go to the last season. So we're not trying to skew this at all. You've got the Butter Shave, The Voice, Serenity Now, Junk Mail, fantastic episode. The Merv Griffin Show, The Slicer, The Strike, which brings us Festivus.
Yes, The Strike and the Merv Griffin episode are arguably the 2 best episodes of Seinfeld. The Contest, even though it's part of life now, that's a great episode of television.
Frogger, which isn't my favorite, but I do enjoy a couple of lines from the Frogger episode.
I enjoy almost every episode of Seinfeld after season 2. They're all pretty good, but in terms of greatness,
the electrician guy that George
plug.
hires, yeah. What about holes? You mean the outlet? Yeah, holes.
Yes, very good.
I have
real quick, John. I got one more.
Okay.
You and Zoe out yesterday, referring to me. I was out sick yesterday. You two have a heated rivalry, or is the heated rivalry the reason you two were out yesterday? That is from Mark. The show Heated Rivalry, of course, the show that John is shunning because of the gay love involved in it. It was funny. I felt, or not funny. I felt sick and I put clothes on, and then it was like I can't come in. And then my daughter texted me, and she said, I'm throwing up at school. And then she had to leave school. So her mother got her at school. And then so I'm wondering if we were not in some way poisoned. Now, you say that would happen right away. My stomach bothered me all night. But this is interesting, is the only reason I'm bringing this up. So my stomach was bothering me all night. I don't like to. It's unfair to call into work in the morning and call out. It puts everyone at a disadvantage. There's no fill-in. So I really don't like doing it. I even called Adam. And when I stood up and got out of bed, everything my stomach was bothering me about said, the adrenaline's going. Let's go. So you actually can't do that.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
and so, yeah, that's on you. So
if we're talking about something else, you can play it. But if you're talking about that, then you can't play it.
I would discourage you.
Makes lots of sense, right?
Well,
yeah, I know.
No, well, listen, I didn't say.
But yes,
I didn't say it made sense, and it's not my rule.
Nope.
But
when did you eat?
I had a girl though text me. I will say this: I had a girl text me, and she said, "Oh my God, this is gross. Everyone's describing what's wrong with you, which I thought was very funny. And so, I tell you, girls get very invested in the show. And so I wrote back, I'm like, they don't know what's going on. So I'm like, don't listen to them. They're making it up to be funny. No, so I stood up, and as soon as the adrenaline hit, then I go, okay. And I put on clothes, and I was supposed to go somewhere for baseball with my son that involved talking to someone. So I was putting on decent-looking clothes. I was dressed, and then it happened again. So I called Adam, and I'm like, I'm going to be late. I would have missed the meeting. I go, I'm going to be late. And then I go start like going around. I put the dog in the crate, and then I got to go again. And I'm like, I'm not going in.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't go in. And then my daughter, and then when my daughter got sick, now you've all gone through this. Now you're like going, what did we eat? What did we both have? Because I was with my daughter like most of the day the whole day after school on Tuesday. So it is. I will not name any businesses' names because they were all nice businesses and very nice to me. They're on my team. They vote for everything that everything I support. They're pretty much down the line with me.
Because I think we've all done this. When you get sick, you're trying to determine, what am I sick with? Did I eat something? Right. When did you last eat? So the only thing I'm trying to figure out, the number of hours between when you think maybe it was something you ate and when you got sick for the first time.
Well, my daughter sent me a picture of her vomit. Which I appreciated. And her vomit was blue, but I did not eat anything. That's why she sent it to me. She said, I'm throwing up blue. And so I thought, I didn't eat anything blue, so I don't really know where that comes from.
Boy.
Well, she maybe had some Gatorade on top of whatever you ate. But it can be as long as like a day. Depending on the type of foodborne illness.
It usually hits me like within a couple hours.
I always went like 5 to 9 hours. I remember reading years ago. It's like, if it's something you ate and it's going to make you that sick, that's the window.
Well, it was definitely within that window because we get 5 hours of sleep. So it was 5-6 hours of sleep, so it was definitely within that window.
That's what I think happened.
But the good news is that we are both fine.
All right, good.
My daughter's back at school today. That's very important.
Patrick said, hey, Hardy, as a fan of the Top Boy series and other British crime shows, I also caught on to this noise. Now, the noise he's referring to is the one that the rookie was making there. What's his name, Mackay?
Oh, yeah,
Lemon.
The Mackay Lemon from USC.
Yeah, and he was making these strange sounds that it sounded like he was like sucking air through his teeth. The noise you are hearing is referred to as Kiss's teeth. I know this because I watch these shows with subtitles on. Kiss's teeth is seen in these shows as a common expression in many parts of the Caribbean and in communities in London influenced by Caribbean culture. It's done to show sign of annoyance, disapproval, frustration, impatience, or disgust. So it appears Fred's dad is heavily influenced by Caribbean culture when he is driving around town.
Yeah, the British have everything's different in England, and I'll tell you why. Have you ever heard of the group Status Quo?
Sure.
Have you?
From you, yes.
Well, I have not. I had not heard of them, and I was under the impression you had not heard of them.
You mentioned it a couple of days ago.
But not on air, though. Yet I am listening to a book by a member of such band, Status Quo, who I still don't know. And first of all, they call themselves Status Quo, which is annoying. Mm-hmm. It's status. You want to make it in the States, dickhead. That's why you never had a hit here. And I can tell you, it's boring. But yet here I go.
You know, there are good books that you could read and listen to.
But I haven't started them. Once they start... I gotta finish, even if it hurts. I couldn't tell you how uninteresting this guy is. I read about it's this great book, this tell-all book.
Didn't you tap out of the Charles Schultz biography?
No, I enjoyed it. It just took me forever to read because it was super long, and I started reading stuff while I was reading it. No, I read that whole thing.
Peanuts and all things about it. I couldn't do it.
I had a sauna in the apartment we lived in at the time, and I would go into that sauna. I'd read a half hour at a time. I devoured that book.
Can't hide money. Hey,
my apartment in Brighton was just but it did have a sauna in the bathroom.
Hey, Hardy, the announcement of the Sports Hub Golf Club returning has me thinking about the Who's Your Caddy Classic.
I didn't know that there was an announcement.
Yesterday morning, we all found out it's back for another year.
I didn't see a press release.
Well, they're planning a big thing. They're getting the cameras in here and all the news stations to cover it later. But that was
be
the
careful.
soft.
That could be a kiss of death.
That was the soft rollout.
No one
yesterday.
got it. No one got it. That was a shot at someone.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
But he says, I'm considering playing this year and wondering if I could, as we did the auctions before about playing with a member of the show, torn between who I want to play with. I know you have a great rangefinder, but should I consider John's bird's eye view? Do you have excellent vision on the golf course, John?
No, I do not have excellent vision on the golf course.
John is a good guy to play golf with. A very good guy to play golf with. He's obviously good conversationally, but he also is very consistent in that he won't wow you. The ball will always be. He doesn't really need a rangefinder, or he doesn't need a way to find the rangefinder is different. He doesn't really need a way to find the ball. The ball's always within sight, but generally in the vicinity of the fairway. Me and John have almost direct opposite games. I hit the ball. I can hit the ball on some occasions very far.
You don't know where it's going.
I don't know where it's going. It's going somewhere bad. And which is maybe the reason I don't like golf that much.
We have one, just to piggyback off the last segment we did before this one, we have a bunch of listeners wanting to quiz you on your knowledge of sitcoms and theme songs. There's one that 12 and I thought you might like. This is another spinoff from All in the Family.
Yeah, in Maude. Very good. And I never even seen an episode of Maude. And
I looked it up. You want to know when Maude
was on before I was alive.
That's right.
How am I supposed to know? It was on before I was alive.
Maude was done by 1978.
Yeah.
It was 6 seasons.
I've never seen an episode of Maude, but I know the theme for Maude because it was in a Family Guy episode where they spoofed the theme of it. That it's really long, apparently. And I could go, oh,
yeah,
this is about something, and then therefore the joke worked because I was able to, even though it happened before I was alive.
Yes, that's right.
You didn't find the opening lyric, Lady Godiva was a freedom rider, to be offensive?
She had an abortion. It was brave. I also know that about Maude. I've never seen that episode, but apparently she had an abortion.
I don't know if anyone had a better sense of humor about taking crap from people than B. Arthur. You watch those old celebrity roasts, and they were vicious.
Well, she had to know.
Yeah, but, I mean, her deadpan reaction to all the jokes made at her expense.
You know who was apparently not a very nice person? Betty White.
Come on.
Really?
Post-death, a lot of reports of her being very difficult. They didn't like her on the Golden Girls. She was the one that was the most difficult. Listen, I'm just I didn't say I know it for a fact. I said that's just what's being reported. She was the most difficult.
Estelle Getty just seemed like a bitch.
Well, that was the character. That's the problem. That's like when you're the guy from Whiplash or Oz. You know, that bald fellow who's a good actor.
Yeah.
Now I see him as the guy from Oz every time. I see him as a sodomizer the whole time, like taking unwilling people and sodomizing
I just see him as a helpful farmer's insurance guy.
Yeah, see, I don't buy that commercial connection.
Bum, 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 bum.
That's how you build a brand. Mm-hmm. Get it in people's heads. All right, thank you. You can email us by going to 985thesportshub.com and finding that. Our social media is at Toucher and Hardy, at Hardy985. I am only on Instagram, where I don't think I've posted in 4 months, but that is...
You better get on that. Chop, chop.
Bring Kendra in. I'll get a million looks at one of them.
It's time.
I know. I got to be better about it, too. If I care about these things, but I got a nice bump after stuff from the 90s cruise, and, of course, the Thuppets helped out a lot, but
yeah,
I got to post some more stuff.
We'll have a new Thuppets this month, we've decided.
Yeah.
It's all Hardy, but if he's game, we will have a new Thuppets this month. Of course, the Hardy, Toucher and Hardy puppets there. And I'm at Fred Toucher, if I didn't say that. All right, we'll be back in just a moment to finish things up.
yourself in 7 words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Toucher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
It is The Stack on Toucher and Hardy. We had Burt Breer on earlier. I'm reading another guy's name. That's why I can't do 2 things at once because I'm an idiot. Ben Solak from ESPN. We were talking about Kyler Murray and where he might land. Apparently, the Vikings, Kevin O'Connell's offense would not be a fit for him, this guy said.
Oh.
But listen to this. Every potential Murray landing spot has an enticing pro and a debilitating con. That's what makes this ensuing decision so tricky. Make the wrong choice, and it's another year in the carousel. A debilitating con.
The intrigue.
Just go back up somewhere. You made your money. You're getting the money for this year as it is.
Right. Are you gonna be like the full-time starter in the NFL again, at least anytime soon? No.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Don't go somewhere like the Jets where you'll screw everything up even more than it's already screwed up.
Yeah.
Just stay away. Go back up somewhere.
Look, Fred, we can't take any more time. Decided for the Stack today, we are going to play the entirety of the Skip Bayless and Ernestine segment that they put on Twitter where they discuss the war in Iran and all the implications for Israel, because this is something that I think we should all weigh in on. And I think it's really smart for Skip Bayless to do it, too.
Well, Lord knows I know a lot about international affairs. I'm on top of all of that.
So that's literally what we're doing now. And we talked about it briefly this morning, how he's on his couch.
This is Skip Bayless. Yes, Skip Bayless is on
We're
his
not
couch.
going to play 1 second of it.
No.
Because it is just, you talk about a debilitating con. Yes, there's nothing but cons in engaging in this type of discussion, especially when you're Skip Bayless and Ernestine. And a lot of the commentary about it is, I don't know. I really don't know about Iran. Well, here's what I think. And then you just, dude.
His wife in these videos comes off as definitely like the boss. Like it comes off like Skip has done something in the relationship that is therefore switched the power dynamic very much in her favor. But then on top of that, not very smart. So like they go right to the stock market. And by the way, the Iran thing it's like something that is sort of, there's different levels of it. Like it requires a certain understanding. It's even divided Democrats. Like it requires a certain amount of knowledge that I think, and Hardy, I think you'll agree, is that a sign of intelligence is knowing when not to weigh in. When maybe you don't know so much, maybe you should be listening.
Sit out a couple of plays.
Listen.
Let everyone else handle this.
Like ex-generals, people that are like professors of international affairs, people that like know are experts in the Middle East. Listen to what they say. No one needs to know what you're saying. And this is where Stephen A. Smith, I feel, and we'll see where it lands. What do I know? I'm a local disc jockey, but I do love this business. I love radio and I love broadcasting, and I feel I know a little bit about it. Now, I'm obviously not the best at it or the most successful at it, but I think in this environment, what Stephen A. Smith is doing, which, by the way, is incredibly boring, his whole political thing, and Hardy's seen it too, is this fence-sitting, like, both sides guy that just ends up being really boring.
It comes off as very hollow and really superficial because it's passionate fence sitting. He's getting all riled up and he's speaking with great emotion without actually landing on one side or the other.
And he does this thing with Cuomo and Bill O'Reilly. And by the way, Bill O'Reilly now is a moderate Republican, which is kind of funny. Yeah. Not because his views have changed, as the world has changed. And Stephen A. Smith is between the two of them. And so say Bill O'Reilly is a moderate Republican. Cuomo's like a moderate Democrat. So there's really no need for anyone to be in the middle of them. And it's Stephen A. Smith who's just nothing. Like, I am an independent. But I'm not. The only thing I'll go off about is the FCC. That's the only thing that I feel like I am in a position to talk about. I know. I have thoughts on things, but not enough that you need to know them. You know, it's sports related. It's sports. Then we'll talk about it.
Funny, I was talking to my son last night. Somehow Reagan came up, and he was like, "Do people like Reagan?" I'm like, in hindsight, people loved Ronald Reagan, and they loved George Bush, and they I mean, for the most part, like Clinton and, both Bushes, I mean, like, comparatively speaking. Now, back in the day, they were viewed as the devil, but, because of their extreme views. But, you just throw all that out the window now. Everybody was moderate until now.
Well, I tell you to start listening to some hardcore bands because they were very against Reagan, which made him really good.
Right. But, I mean...
No, I know. I know what you're saying.
You compare that, that level of vitriol to, what is it?
No, there was
nothing.
Well, first of all, Reagan won 49 states. And the only reason he didn't win Minnesota is because Mondale's from there.
Right.
And, yeah, there was kind of a consensus that even if there was a disagreement that, hey, this is the United States and this is the guy... And that's as much the fault of the guy as it is the people. Explaining that to someone I could understand being difficult.
He was shot on my 10th birthday. Messed up a big birthday. That's a milestone birthday.
Well, that's
when I go home and get ready to celebrate, and it's nothing but news on.
Oh,
I'm like, terrible. Come on, man.
Yeah, Darby Crash took the hot shot the day before John Lennon was murdered, and it ruined his whole thing. He wanted to be infamous, and then John Lennon goes and gets shot, ruins everything. All right. We'll be back tomorrow. That'll do it for us. Bye.
Talk to you tomorrow. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.